Okay.
It says live stream off.
How's it looking on your end?
Mine says live stream offline.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if switching to classic is making a new stream. No, I'm just seeing live stream offline.
Let me...
Does it say it's broadcasting?
Lights go out.
Oh, wait, here we go. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, what's it looking like on your end?
It's good. They can hear us.
People can hear us?
Yeah, and now there's like just the infinite void coming up on the screen. So
okay.
I think we're good.
Just the display capture. Sorry, again, we're making this as much as we can, but it's gauging with this new software. I'm very baby steps, so please forgive me if what comes up and what doesn't come up. If anyone in the chat can let me know, because I think we might be a little bit far behind, is what's on the screen right now, is that the picture, or is it still just like our faces?
It's the picture on screen from what I'm seeing. I'm watching the stream as we do it.
Alright then, let's just do a quick... you know, we'll stick on the picture for a little bit, let some people get in, and then I'll do the switch. But until then, do gold bottoms if you can. Oh, you want the classic GT pants? I don't know about that one. I'm sticking with the end of Z colors for this. But yeah, so this is a very not impromptu because we did plan this yesterday, but given the amount of content we're putting out recently, there are kind of like these null places where we don't get a chance to, because DBDC and all of our content really is quite work intensive. It's quite dependent on actors, editing, sourcing the scripts and everything, all of that. It does, to make it the best possible product we can, it takes a lot of time, and YouTube isn't quite frankly careful with letting people that take a lot of time prosper. So if this one is a success, will kind of be a semi-regular thing where we'll be doing these streams to get some of your suggestions, interaction, and content. Not all of them will be drawing streams, but this one specifically will be, just because it's something I was doing. I was like, well, if I'm doing it anyway, why not hang out with you guys? But frankly, I am not alone in my quest here, because you've heard his dulcet tones on the Kenshin video, but now we're finally going to be in a video together on this channel. The one, the only, Sid Part 2.
Hi, I am great.
You are great. There's the hype man immediately.
Yeah, I know. Like, I am the hype. Yeah, so I don't know. It's good. It's good to be here. Good to be in front of an audience. I'm nervous. I don't know what to say. I'm used to doing live streams on my channel and getting like 2 to 3 comments. That's it. So this is new and exciting territory. So just hi, thanks to everyone that's dropping by. Looks like we've got 16, 17 people in here now. So thanks for coming by. This will be exciting, fun, kind of nice, chill live stream. Alfie is going to be mostly drawing and stuff, and like, so he won't be able to read chat. I'll be reading chat throughout this and interacting maybe a little bit in the chat box and like reading questions out loud and stuff like that. So we get the interaction going. This will be kind of an Ask Us Anything, whether that's Dragon Ball DC related, just general thoughts on Dragon Ball, whatever, you know, how to do your taxes.
That's the content we want to subscribe for, folks. If you want to get us, actually put your credit card details. So don't go up to your mum and ask them for the credit card details. Just put those back. They got those 3 digits on the back of the card.
That's very important. People forget those all the time.
But yeah, again, it doesn't just have to be Dragon Ball. Again, we're doing Dragon Ball mostly because we've both got a basis in that, and Dragon Ball DC was our first, like, whoa, this is really sprung up, and Dragon Ball is something we're both passionate about. But again, we're also very big DC Comics fans, comics in general, and then just media in general. I will kind of preface, as much as I am a weeb and I'm trying to convert Sipatu into being a weeb, we're not at the higher echelons of like knowledge in that sense. So if you want to ask us questions about like My Hero Academia in Dragon Ball or crossovers with other anime, do say it, because one of us might know it. But if we don't know every single series, keep that in mind. Focus mainly, if you do want to make sure that your question will get answered like properly and in-depthly, kind of keep it to comics and Dragon Ball. So there you go. Oh my god, donation.
$5 donation from Comic Platypus. Hey, thanks for the cash.
Thanks for the cash to Comic Platypus. See, he understands that he has to get his mother's credit card details straight away. No, that's awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for that. It helps we're a small channel, but we're just growing up at the moment.
So we got our first question about the art that's on screen here. Shouldn't Super Saiyan 5 have white fur?
Well, I mean, Super Saiyan 5 doesn't exist. Can have whatever the fuck I make the rules. But for that idea, Super Saiyan 5 with the white fur, it's like an iconic look, but I don't know. It always felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. You could argue the same for Super Saiyan 4, that the red kind of comes out of nowhere too, but the red and the black is just a cool color combination. And my idea for this, I'll get into it more later, but this is my idea of, alright, if we are going to do a Super Saiyan 5, let's just make it as if Super Saiyan 4 was like a new base form, kind of like Ultimate Gohan, and then this is what it looks like when Super Saiyan 4 goes Super Saiyan, if that makes any sense.
Okay, that's a cool way to look at it. This is New Age Super Saiyan 5.
Yes, I'm friends with Malik, who does Dragon Ball New Age. He's actually been doing art for me for the Norse DB episodes, like the 4 arc and the Loki arc, and we're working on an Odin piece at the moment. So I'm in his Discord and we talked about this, and I quite like his idea for Super Saiyan 5, but just apart from the colors are different, even though it's the idea of like blonde and red, we're going for different shades. But yes, this is more inspired by that than it is the Toyotaro Super Saiyan 5.
Cool. Sand Review says, your guys' storytelling is on point, and I'm a big fan. Thank you very much. Ultra Instinct Goku. Do you feel Dragon Ball transformations are earned compared to comics?
I mean, yeah, like, do you want to handle that one? Because I think that's an interesting comparison.
Well, I mean, it's just like, what transformations in comics are like as permanent a fixture as like Super Saiyan is for Dragon Ball and stuff? Like, I feel they're earned. I feel the story justifies most of the transformations, even if I'm not a huge fan of like Super Saiyan 2 and the Cell arc for that reason, but it does kind of all revolve around that. I feel they're earned. A lot of the comics transformations, I feel, are just in large part trying to ape things like Dragon Ball and are getting kind of that Eastern influence a lot of times in comics, at least with things that I can think about. I don't know, nothing's really coming to my mind that was like kind of a permanent transformation that stuck with a character that they could just, whip out like we do with Super Saiyan these days.
I'm kind of feeling that as well. It's just whenever they're doing another donation from, this is actually, alright, I didn't know Kieran, Taylor, and these are some of my actual IRL friends that are in here now. Wow, now you look at me, look how far I've come, folks. I'm doing streams. I appreciate that, Kieran. I hope you all doing well. But yeah, that's ye. That's nice to see.
Capped Cordy 17 says, we want face cam.
You want face cam, Callan? Alright, we'll give you face cam. We're going to do this for a little second just because we want to show off some merch anyway. So, forgive seeing the void for a second. And there we go. We should be relatively fine.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's always behind. But here we are with the Kakarot Kemp shirt.
Behold! It looks so good!
I like the little side things on the arms. It's a nice touch. Adam did a good job with that.
Yeah, so that's the idea of like some merch we're doing. There are like different color variations, and the link for that is actually in the description at the moment for Media Dwarf. He's doing fantastic work, and even more exciting. So some of the fantastic art we've been getting from Adam Serbaisa. We're going to start working on posters of that, which is so cool. Like, I am immediately buying one. They just look so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy to see the talent that's come into the series just because of like how big that first video got and stuff. It's so cool working with some of these people that are just like so much better than we are at anything.
This is the trick to success on YouTube. You find people who are better than you, and you ape off them. This is why I'm like, Smugstick was in the chat just a moment ago, but I owe a lot of this to him, just helping me out and teaching me the rules of the trade, and then I got to help him out and like change some of the format for his what ifs, and like I think that collaborative process is something that I've really appreciated being in this community. Is everyone's very welcoming.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Jordan Tella says, have you ever thought about doing a what if Gohan was in the Teen Titans?
Well, at the moment, you'll know that our Kakarot doesn't have any kids. He's been single, though he's got a kind of a thing with Lady Shiva going on. You'll have to wait and see in the future if we do go that route, but if we ever do introduce a child character, I'm a fan of the Teen Titans, and we both kind of have ideas we've played with for different characters we can introduce in that, so keep your eye out, because we might play with that space. Nothing in the DC universe is ever going to really get ignored, so to speak. We're more so going to take our time with this as a long project, because, again, there's a lot of ground to cover of things you can explore in DC, but we have talked about that.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about like, oh, what would this character, be like? How would this affect things? And so we talked about just characters that we already know existing, interacting with members of the Teen Titans anyway. So that there's plans, percolations, and stuff.
Secret knowledge that only the chosen may know.
Yeah. Todd Howard says, Crumb Kong from the Discord here. Just wanted to say thank you, and Sid, for giving me the inspiration for creating Aquapiece. Just released my first official part today. That was a fun one. I've been seeing him talk about that in Discord. You should go join the Discord if you haven't yet.
Yes, there is a link for that in the description as well, so you can literally just click a button and do it.
Yeah, and he's been working on, just little bits and pieces here of different fan fictions, kind of taking that same East meets West thing. I'm going to jump down a little bit in the chat. I'll try to go back and forth a little bit if I can here. Sergio Crumb says, just wanted to pop in with a what if the Saiyans from DB switch places with the Mandalorians from Star Wars? Oh, I feel like the Saiyans would just kick the shit out of the entire Star Wars universe. Like, there's all that idea, like, the power to destroy a planet is nothing compared to the power of the Force. Like, yeah, you say that, but, like, you're not exactly going around choking planets to death, Darth. I kind of feel like you got Vegeta early on saying something who's about to blow up a planet and stuff. I mean, like, what do you do with that? It's kind of hard. You'd have to, like, really, really reduce how strong they are. There's just no way around that side of things.
Mm-hmm. Or you keep how strong they are, and say I had to go into this aspect, you'd probably want to make it so the reason the other galaxies and Empire or whatever time period you want to put this in have a chance against the Saiyans is you really restrict how good the Saiyans can be in space combat, because they only have pods that take them out there. And you shoot down the pod, they'll die in space. So if the Saiyans are strictly like, okay, we need to make up fucking blockades to keep the Saiyans from out, because if they get on planet and ground warfare, they're unstoppable. But when they're out in space and we've got Star Destroyers, we can basically keep them confined to planet Vegeta.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like the idea of even before the Death Star, you've got like orbital strikes that can basically just wipe out all life on a planet. So like, it's not that they don't have a chance, but I think that's like not as fun.
Yeah, you're right.
When you say the Saiyans in DC, you just immediately imagine like friggin' Zamasu with the Keyblade fighting Darth Vader or some shit. And there's some like part of that that's really cool, but at the same time, just the level of power that you're dealing with is just insane.
It's one of those verses where you can do it, but I think maybe something closer to, like, say, what if, like, Goku from Dragon Ball or the Earth of Dragon Ball was a planet in Star Wars might be closer in the power level than the full-on Saiyans.
I could see that. You still have Roshi blowing up a freaking Alright. Smokestick donated $3 or $2.99, same thing.
Not exactly.
Oh man, awesome! Thanks, Mug. We appreciate it.
You're the best, Luis.
We appreciate you letting us ape your bullshit.
All right, I'm feeling right about now. To watching the drawing, but the format's gonna stay the same with Ian basically reading me what's going on. Back.
Oh, okay, looks good now.
Okay, yeah, I think that was a little bit of a hiccup. But the SS4 plus SS3 idea, yeah, that's kind of where I was feeling in terms of inspiration of what I actually want to do with it. Because I do like the idea, because AF kind of does this as well, except it just changes the colors. But Super Saiyan 4, like, basically making the Ultimate Saiyan form, you do kind of want to mix everything into one so it feels, like, complete. Looking at this and how I've done it, part of me also kind of feels like maybe I could have just made, like, the hair shorts where it's just, like, here. So it looks more like just Super Saiyan. But I'm happy with this as it is. It's, like, the idea of it gets the longer hair because it's using all the power of a Saiyan. It doesn't necessarily need to have Super Saiyan 3 and all of that. So
I've got an idea that might improve the stream health just a little bit. You should turn off your webcam.
Yes, I was just about to do that.
Okay. Todd Howard says, inspiration for Dragon Ball DC and why, and have you guys thought about adding the Doom Patrol? God, this is something I don't think we have talked about on the channel or even the Discord at all, which is just you and I sitting there at like 3 a.m. some night bullshitting about like what would Goku be like in Dragon Ball in DC. And it was mostly just like jokes, but you kind of had it all figured out, and then it was like a week later you started sending me scripts, drafts of scripts and artwork and stuff.
So that's basically what our process was just, it's a lot of me waking up in the dead of night with imagination, and then coming down to fucking Ian and being like, hey, let's actually make this something. Let's try and craft this. And then he tells me, no, that's crazy, and then refines it. And then I tell him, oh, well, that's crazy. But you'll find a lot of this, a lot of the basic plotting and the ideas you want to do are mainly focused on ideas we're passionate about, characters we're passionate about, things we have like a deep knowledge for. So the Wonder Woman focus, or say the Superman, like Lex Luthor focus and stuff like that. Characters like the Doom Patrol are certainly a thing we can deal with, but again, it's just one of those things. There's so much in DC, so much does get kind of lost in conversation. So if we have a good story idea for something, or anyone wants to suggest what that could look like, go ahead, and it could end up being an episode.
Yeah. To be fair, one of the things, another like plug the Discord. One of the voice actors for the project, the guy that does Vegeta and like every other character, so just like Dragon Ball, he like took some of the chat in Discord that was just kind of funny when people were talking about, oh, what if the Doom Patrol showed up in Dragon Ball DC, and he did like a Mr. Nobody talking about Goku and Vegeta and even Alpha here. It was really funny.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was a good. Again, very talented people we've got working on this, and it's the fun idea of this, right? Of like what ifs is. We're doing this just as fans coming up with anything, and every single person watching this and listening to this is a fan. And I'm sure you've all got your crazy ideas of what you'd like to see, and even if it doesn't be in the series, like, all of this started out as just me wanting to do, like, a really crappy fanfic. So, if it doesn't take much to want to go out and bring it to life. And again, just suggest it to us, and I can't guarantee anything, but if you really do have like a dynamite idea, 1 in a million, we'd be happy to work with you on it. It just is about finding something that understands the scope of the DC Dragon Ball story and isn't just entirely fan. I don't even say like, you know what, it's like fan service, or just something where it's like, okay, what if Goku got this form? Is there like a character basis for the idea? What would this interaction look like? Like the Hawk Girl kind of having a racist tinge against Super Saiyans that she has to kind of, not Super Saiyans, but like Saiyans that she has to overcome. I think that was a good character point. Like stuff like that, I think is things we're more attracted to.
Yeah, that was definitely from comments. There's been other things where like we were just surprised that people were into stuff based on comments on the videos and things we saw in Discord, and we decided to integrate them into series. Not exactly necessarily what people were asking for, I guess, but at least elements of it, bits and pieces here and there. I remember definitely reading that comment about like, oh, so I imagine Hawkgirl probably hates the Saiyans after what Nappa did to her, and we were like, well, she's got that weird resurrection history thing, and we wanted to make the point that the Saiyans really suck, and we've already put it in canon that Vegeta and Nappa and Raditz attacked Thanagar, so bada bing, bada boom, there we go.
Exactly.
She's racist against Saiyans. So that was really good. The Giver of L says, can you do Superman and Dragon Ball? That's Smugstick's series, and he does a really good job on it, and just for you guys' knowledge, Alfie helps some of the plotting in that too. So it's not like just completely removed from the Dragon Ball DC series. He is involved in that. So definitely go check out the series on Smugstick's channel. It's super fun. I'd never seen one of Smug's videos before. I saw the first What If Superman Was in Dragon Ball, and like I wasn't ready for the voice acting and stuff, and that just made me so giddy because it's such a cool little thing, and we were like, okay, we got to do it. It's too cool not to do that. So those were really funny. Okay, Dylan Stone, you should do a What If AF Was a Real series. I've not read it. I can't really say much about that.
So, I mean, we both like GT, right? I think that's something we should make very clear from the onset. So, I think we're both comfortable with that lore and that era, where if we ever did get the inspiration of, oh, you know what, because a lot of fans, it's a good period to explore, right? Dragon Ball, what happens when Goku's really gone for good, and they have to step up. A lot of fan works do touch that time period, and some of them are really great, but go ahead.
The notorious Luke fan film, Dragon Ball Deliverance, part of what I like about that is just seeing the like characters, 10 years after the end of GT without Goku around. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely we could come up with some ideas. At the moment, our schedule's kind of packed for what we can do, but maybe. But if we were going to do that, what we'd probably do before that is, like, rewrite GT. Like, we'd do, like, a what if we made GT, and we like it, but there are some flaws to it, so we could, like, fix up, and then we'd go through that and build our AF based on what we do in that GT. So it wouldn't be even a true sequel to the real GT, it would be a sequel to our version of GT.
Super Saiyan 5 could be called Super Saiyan Primal. I like that idea. I like the idea of dropping the numbers and just giving the forms different proper names. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Super Saiyan 4 being called Hitozaru, which basically just means man monkey.
Comic Platypus says, comic transformation / power boost can be a bit OP. Kyle Rayner has semi-omnipresence for a while, like 2 times. Yeah, Kyle Rayner, there's a guy I follow on Twitter, another Green Lantern fan, he's like, can Kyle Rayner just go back to being Space Jesus? And yeah, when Kyle Rayner is Space Jesus, he's awesome, but it is a pretty, like, come and go kind of thing for transformations. Like that's the thing, comic characters are already so powerful that when they get a transformation that makes them more powerful, it's like you can start a countdown clock for when a writer is going to take it away because they can't figure out how to create drama around that.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things, like, some comic characters don't even get to keep their supporting cast from writer to writer. Never mind their transformations and, like, techniques.
Yeah, I mean, like, you think about, like, Iron Man's bleeding edge armor is, like, is essentially the same thing. They had to take that away for just the sake of drama. Trenton Brown says, question for DBDC, what alias did Goku go by when he first became a hero, or did he always go by Kakarot? So that was one we talked about a lot, and we were like, really, for a while, we were like, okay, what would Goku's hero name be? Because we couldn't come up with anything. And a couple of people had decent suggestions. One of the ones that was floating around for a while was the Monkey King, but it didn't really make sense in universe. And so we ultimately decided he's never had an alias. He's just always, like, he was Clark for a long time until the Saiyan Saga, and now he goes by Kakarot.
Yeah, that's basically where we're keeping it is. So that means everyone knew his identity, everyone knew where he came from. So, like, supervillains would attack Kent Farm, but that was quite handy for Goku because it's an open space without a lot of collateral damage, so it's preferable when they come to his home for like a sparring session in his mind than if they were robbing a bank or something. So he was just known worldwide as his secret identity, like how for a period where like the Flash was just known for being who he was.
You mean the best period of the Flash ever?
I mean, we just like to pull from the best, that's all I'm saying.
Right. Okay, what else we got here? I've got to catch up a little bit, so we'll do some of these rapid fire. Have you guys seen Dragon Ball Absalom? No.
Yes, I've seen Dragon Ball Absalom.
Oh, cool.
I'm not a fan, though.
Derek M says, that shirt would look nice if it was a workout shirt. Oh, God, compression shirt? That'd be so cool. But then I'd have another workout shirt that I don't go to work out in because I'm lazy.
The truth comes out in stream.
I know, right? Haley and I canceled our gym membership because we just didn't want to freaking go. Totally Kakashi? Yeah, let's go with that one. It says, when is the next Dragon Ball DC? When DBDC? WEN DBDC.
When DBDC? Oh, you're killing me, folks. Well, with that attitude, never. We're done. We're gonna do it. Aiming for the next 2 episodes to finish off the Entity Saga is gonna be in December, so this can be a Christmas present.
Yay! Ultimate Life Form says Goku X Wonder Woman for the win. Nope.
You handle that
one. Nope, that's never happening. Sorry, no. Mythology Guy says Teen Titans with a Saiyan? Question mark? Yeah, we were kind of talking about that earlier. It's possible it might happen, but we'll see. Kevin Platypus has given another $5 donation. God, can I just like do this all day? Is this Kakarot's fighting style more MMA with a boxing emphasis thanks to training with Wildcat? How long do you think till Rick Grayson is gone? This version of Goku's fighting style is more or less the same as what he's got in canon, because he still did spend a lot of time just in the East learning martial arts. He's got a little more like DC martial arts style, which seems to revolve around like pressure points and stuff, and he's also got like more of that rounded fighting style, because the DC method is let's go learn every fighting style in like a week. Just like every member of the League of Assassins does.
Mm-hmm. If this was like animated, I would, and like they did have to have like a crossover or something. I would like to like specify like he would fight. Because you'll notice from how I specified this in the original video of Batman fights Goku, which is like my big piece on how Goku fights. It's very much just Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee had the philosophy of not. Well, he didn't start out this way, but he eventually evolved to not having one style. Like, Wing Chun is basically just trying to express himself, and you can take your favorite bits from different styles and stuff. So that's kind of what our Kakarot does. Because he's been exposed to more you like you say, the boxing and stuff from Wildcat, and even just things he's seen and picked up from like just being in Metropolis and like firefighters he's seen. He's like, oh, that's a cool like maneuver, like stuff like that, like just random things you wouldn't expect. He's all picked up and blended it into his own hodgepodge improvisational style, where it really isn't the same thing fight to fight, because he's got very much the idea of, in the moment thinking, because he doesn't think about what he just does it because he's so in tune with the fighting and all of that. So Batman couldn't even predict what he was going to do next, because he's just pulling from these crazy things that no one expects. So nailing it down is hard. But if I did have like infinite budget and everything, I would very much say, all right, in one episode he's fighting and it's like a traditional boxer, like, but with a southpaw stance, and then the next episode he's only doing grapples, and like all of this stuff to just make it so like Goku's just picking his favorite fighting scenes, and just it is very much like a kid in like a toy store. Is Goku loves every minute of seeing a new different type of fighting, and it's his favorite thing, mixing and matching and all of this. He's just got such a passion for it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it, is what makes it different. And I also like that he steals other people's techniques.
Because he's just the dirty, rotten thief.
Right. More talk about Teen Titans. Again, nothing's like definitive yet, so we're probably not going to answer any more Teen Titan related questions unless it's like very specific. Trenton Brown, what gave you guys the idea to pair Goku with Lady Shiva? Steve Baxy's still in the chat, because that was him. we were sitting there and we're like, man, we really do want to do romance with Goku. It's very hard to find a character, and I guess this kind of goes to the Wonder Woman thing. Everyone's like, oh, Wonder Woman x Goku, Wonder Woman x Goku. No, she's not got the kind of patience for his kind of childish bullshit.
Yeah,
that's really not like Wonder Woman's kind of thing. And there's other things I don't really want to talk about Wonder Woman too much. That one doesn't really fit. And then there's just, you need someone who's either going to not put up with his bullshit at all, or just be willing to, like Chi-Chi. And so we decided to go with Shiva, because she definitely wouldn't, but then there's other things the more we read it up on the character that kind of led to that. I'll let Alfie take it from here.
Yeah, so basically Shiva's a really interesting character in that she's only in a few select appearances in where she's written like with this characterization, but something I really latched onto, and it was from the Denny O'Neil run, is where Lady Shiva basically has the same mentality as Goku with fighting, except she sees it in when she sees she's killing someone, it's not necessarily she's beating them in a fight, it's more like her way of life has won over yours. But she also respects, because modern Shiva's kind of got that thing against Cassandra Cain, right? Where she's like, you don't fight to kill, so you're weak. And we want to keep some of that. But I also do like the idea, like, if we go back to that conversation when we talk about Shiva and Goku, she's like, I respect that you don't kill your opponents, even if I don't. She understands the way of life of people, and she finds Goku unique, because she's the one person in the DC universe who almost loves fighting as much as he does, and appreciates the art of it. It's not necessarily that when she's fighting someone, she's fighting to beat them or anything. She's fighting to find something else about herself, especially with like a good opponent. Losing a good fight means you've learned something about yourself, and that's precisely what Goku does. So those two just having that dynamic while also being a bit of tension really kind of got the brain firing for, oh, this can lead to some really good drama, especially because a lot of people have been asking, oh, does this mean Cassandra Cain's going to be Goku's kid? No, Cassandra Cain exists, and she's around, and she's part of the Bat family right now. We just haven't had a chance to have Goku meet her yet, but that's going to happen. Because Goku's going to end up meeting Cassandra, and we're going to deal with that, and I'm very excited to get into that stuff, because, again, that's a whole other bit of lore of the DC Universe we can add to Goku's family, and I don't know, I'm excited to touch on that stuff specifically.
Yeah, it's we've got a lot planned, but we've got very little of it scripted, so there's still a lot of room for things to change and evolve, which is really nice, but we do have a solid outline, and I think it is worth saying, we do have a definite ending for the series at this point.
Oh, we're gonna go that far.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I think it's worth for people to know that. But that being said, it's not gonna happen for a while. We've got 12 sagas planned out or something like that.
We're definitely going, for people who are worried we're not going to continue the series, don't worry about that. We've got this in for the long haul.
Yeah, this is going to go on for quite a while, and but it's pretty exciting. All right. You know, this is funny. This has nothing to do with anything. The super chats, the donations really help because it helps me find my place.
Yeah, and if you find any of them, just read the names out for me so I can make sure.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, we've already talked about it, but I'm just saying, like, when I'm scrolling through the chat, it just makes it easier to find my place.
It manages the stream.
Yeah. Okay. Tomatoes are just worse cucumbers. How powerful is Kakarot Ken?
Well, I mean, first of all, can I just appreciate how powerful your username is? That's the real question. Holy crap, that's brilliant. How powerful is Kakarot Ken? Okay, this is just a can of worms. So I'm going to have to take a minute just to talk about this. So, if strictly speaking, I'm going to keep it just to Dragon Ball. Bear in mind, okay, because I know this will cause arguments. This is our DC universe. So if you disagree with how strong the DC characters are going to be presented, then that's fine. Just pretend this isn't the main canon versions of DC. This is just an Elseworlds. Alright? We clarified on that? We all good? Alright, with that said, if you had to ask me on how I feel like this Kakarot Kent scales to the main series, he's around that in base form, and with the Ikari state, he's around Android to like Super Saiyan early stage level in his base.
And that's the big like whoa moment that people don't realize. And like what I think is really clever about that is the story justification that you've talked about, which is, you know, when we talk about Dragon Ball, there's the Android saga, the Cell saga, the Frieza saga, yada yada yada. There's like years between each of those. Like the Frieza saga and the Android saga seems like they're so close together, but like there's a 2-year gap before Frieza shows back up, if I'm remembering it correctly, and then there's another 2-year gap before the androids show up. And like that's 4 years where basically all they're doing is training, but they're not actually, getting in fights constantly.
Mm-hmm. They've kind of plateaued, so they're not really making that many gains.
Yeah, and so like with the Saiyan hacks of the Zenkais and everything, and Goku just in the DC universe is getting in a fight every other day. He's going out and patrol in the streets of Metropolis, and he's dealing with like Livewire and Parasite and Atomic Skull and all this stuff. And yes, even frickin' Metallo.
Yeah, can I go into that quick? Alright,
Sure.
Y'all fuckers got on my ass so hard about, Metallo wouldn't be powered by kryptonite in this. Go read the new 52 Grant Morrison Superman run, you heathens. Metallo isn't originally powered by kryptonite. He's just a guy in the military program using a warsuit. It's only when his heart bursts because of Brainiac they need a new like heart power source, and then that's how kryptonite gets put in. But before that, because this world doesn't have any Brainiac, because Brainiac's over in Smugstick's world, we're just dealing with Metallo as just John Corbin's just a really evil military guy that's doing it for like a hired contract for Lex Luthor on the side, but it's like untraceable.
Yep, pretty much. Okay. Comic Platypus, back to the Star Wars thing. Some of the old EU Star Wars stuff could be OP. Technically speaking, Palpatine in the Legends comics broke space and time and made like a force storm. Yeah, like I get that about Star Wars, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't count because the force powers get so just ridiculously changed in medium to medium. And like nothing against the Star Wars Extended Universe stuff, old or new. For me personally, if it's not in the films, I don't count it because it's really just writers doing basically whatever they want for like 20 years, and now it's writers not being able to do whatever they want because Disney doesn't really want new important stuff to happen in the extended stuff. They want it to happen in the films. So I just can't reconcile those two things and not just say one doesn't count.
Yeah, I've nothing more to add to that.
Yeah. All right. Hey geeks, for fun, do you have any plans of implementing SSJ4 in Goku and DC in the future?
Don't know yet. We'll have to see. But I definitely want to keep this going for a while. And as you know, Goku likes to transform. So there's going to be transformations, obviously. But which ones we get to, I won't spoil. Just know, yeah, we're not exactly going to keep him in his base form for 15 sagas.
All right, Ultra Instinct Goku. If I could draw, I would draw Super Saiyan 5 with Super Saiyan 4 that red and have fur with a red aura.
Red aura could be cool.
Yeah, maybe we can play with it if we add an aura to this tonight. Who knows? It's easy enough to do that change color kind of thing. Steve Baxi asked a question.
Oh my goodness me, I'm blushing already.
Yeah. If you could redo one DBZ arc, regardless of what comes after, but knowing what comes before, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy for me. I'll let you go first.
Oh, man. I guess, like, this might sound, kind of hackney, and I know I put it a lot lower than other people. It'd be the Cell Saga. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been kind of disappointed by the Android/Cell Saga. Because I thought it cheapened Super Saiyan too much by just kind of immediately negating it. So I'd probably do something different with Cell Saga. What it would be, like what would I do with that? I don't know exactly, but I'd try to make it not just about getting to the next form of Super Saiyan, because that always did feel really cheap to me. Though, to be fair, Alfie's made a pretty good argument that I've had a hard time coming up with anything against, so...
Yeah, for me it's going to be Boo. I have the Boo arc is so many good ideas and so many good concepts, and just Toriyama having the time of his life, but it's messy. It really does feel like, again, Dragon Ball always, as it goes on longer, does always lose kind of that cohesion it had in the early arcs, and even then Toriyama's writing this by week at some point, so it's a miracle it turns out as great as it did. The dude's just real talent. But it would be Boo, just because I feel like there's so much you can do with that, especially on Gohan's end. I'm a big Gohan fanboy, so I don't even mind that he got weaker. I think you keep that, because that's a good character arc. I'm just like, you shouldn't... Goku getting switched to be the main protagonist is a disservice to both him and Gohan, because Goku taking the mental role lets him finally escape the trap he was in Z, where it's like, oh, Goku has to show up in the end to save the day. No, let Goku be a side character so then he can actually get some fights where he loses, and Goku losing fight is always more interesting than Goku winning fights. So I really think the Boo arc is something I would love to have a tackle at, and I know Totally Mark did it recently, and there are some things I disagree with that, but I definitely appreciate the effort you put behind that video. I don't know. It might be something we even do on the channel one day. I have been considering... We have, haven't we? Just ideas of doing series where it's like a what if, but we follow a set of rules, and then we just do a what if we wrote this arc kind of thing. Like, it'd be called, like, just imagine we wrote the Boo Saga, or something along those lines. You guys let me know in the chat if you'd actually want to see stuff like that, because we have been playing around with the idea, but I don't know if we're going to actually go through with it. If there is an audience, though, you give us a strong response now, we'll definitely consider getting to it sooner than later.
Okay. Samurai says, you could probably have the scientists in Star Wars adapt and make their own same-level androids. Maybe, I don't know. Again, that's kind of like... What we all want to see is Yoda versus Goku. So, like, it's just... a lot of that stuff's just not working for me. Like, that's the thumbnail, right? Yoda versus Goku. Yeah. The Anime Noob says, hey, I'm late to the stream. Well, welcome anyway. Common Platypus says, is there any popular DC characters that you two just dislike? Stephanie Brown. Not a fan.
He's not got a case of the Stephs.
I do not have a bad case of the Stephs.
What a fucking loser.
Alright. How about you? You got a DC character you just can't stand?
I don't know. I don't really get characters I don't like, really. It's just like when writers portray them. I guess just... alright, here it is. My favourite fictional character of all time is Superman. My least favourite fictional character of all time is evil Superman stories. There you go. Just fucking... It's not even like it's a bad idea. It's just... Come on, man. You really, this is your take of the thing that everyone in a 15-year-old class and every other comic writer and every video game has decided is the only way to tell Superman stories these days. Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah. Would you incorporate some fan ideas? I have some ideas about Saiyan biomechanics concerning half-breeds. Will there be a Superboy equivalent character in the future? Like I said earlier, we have incorporated fan ideas, and not necessarily in the exact way they're proposed, but you can throw out whatever you want, and, if we like it, we might have it stick, we might not, we might change a little bit. It's just one of those things where, keep in mind, if you do, we get a lot of comments suggesting different things, and sometimes people, like, I guess I could spoil this, sometimes people comment things of like, yep, we're doing exactly that. We've already got this planned, because there are only so many ideas that eventually someone's going to come on to something similar. Sometimes there's like ideas that are just completely alt Dragon Ball DC, like people post in the comments of like what they think's going to happen next. I'm like, nope, none of that. But cool ideas. So just one of those things, like some of the stuff that you suggest might be stuff we've already got planned. Some of it might be stuff that we know we're not going to go that direction with, and some of it might be like, oh, that's a cool idea, but we've got it like 6 times. So it's not necessarily something we can credit the site, but if you just want to throw the idea out there, I read every comment I can. Anytime I'm bored scrolling through my phone, one of the things I do is I go to each episode of Dragon Ball DC and just look at the comments again.
Same here. I mean, what? No, I don't. I hate you all. He's the only one who reads or takes the time to read the comments. I don't get my heart fuzzy and warm every time I see someone mention how much they enjoy a wacky fan series I do. I'm cold-hearted and evil.
Yeah. I think you're trying to steal my vibe. As far as will there be a Superboy equivalent character, no, because I guess I don't even know how to answer that, because Superboy is like a very particular thing.
But Lex Luthor doesn't care enough.
Yeah.
Goku's not a threat to Lex Luthor. He's very clear that he doesn't think he matters to him. And I mean, Lex Luthor's word, and he doesn't normally mince-mint that, so I think he's not really going to go into that. Because Goku's, again, Batman calls him out for it. Lex Luthor's been able to grow without needing that. He creates Superboy in canon because he wants to kind of stick it to Superman, and this Lex seems to be doing good on his own. So, and again, it's Cadmus as well, but again, I like the idea of the Superboy who's got like the 50% Lex thing going on. So yeah, I wouldn't be touching that.
Yeah. Lex Luthor fades, says Capt Cody 17. Sure. Okay. I don't know.
The Lex Luthor haircut. Okay. When are we gonna do that? We're gonna both just completely do Lex Luthor cosplays for some reason.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. The Anime Noob. What would you say is the most interesting interaction between DC Goku and any of the other DC heroes? I mean, my favorite, because like I kind of came up with like the idea of it, but it was so fun to see Alfie sell it and then to hear Andre perform it, was Goku and Larfleeze. That has got to be like, it was a dynamic that like when we were setting up the Entity Saga, I like broke down, we were like, okay, the Justice League members are going to get the entities and they'll possess them and it'll be really cool. And so like I broke down a list of who was going to get what, and I like completely forgot about Avarice. And so Larfleeze was actually kind of a late addition to the script, and I didn't expect Alfie to be able to work with it as well as he did, but it's like legitimately is my favorite episode of the series so far is the Larfleeze episode.
Yeah, Larfleeze is great, especially just the performance sells it, and that character dynamic with Goku, he feels like the most like a Dragon Ball character because he's got the gimmick and he's wacky and he's got that large-than-life personality. See, that was really fun. I also really like what we're doing with Goku and Batman. I think that's an interesting dynamic for how Superman and Batman's dynamic is very much the idea that Batman really feels like being around Superman is making him a better person. Like, I like the idea that Batman, when he starts out, is kind of he's a little rough and ready compared to how he is, but then through hanging around with Wonder Woman, Superman, and then when Robin comes in, he lightens up and he goes from rich man beating up poor people to savior of Gotham City Soul kind of thing, because he learns from these inspirational people and like not just to be anger all the time. Whereas with Goku, he's got a very different mentality with that because they both got to train together when they were young. Kakarot doesn't really remember it because he's not good with faces, but Batman definitely remembers it. And they've known each other longer than any other hero, so they've got that history. But at the same time, it's a lot. At the moment, Batman isn't the Parallax Batman scene was a bit divisive for people because they were like, well, Batman's being a bit harsh, but he's possessed. He was already emotionally distraught because Dick Grayson had died, and Batman does not handle loss well at all. And all of that kind of compounded to make this really like heartbreaking and sad moment where he's saying something he believes in, but it's not in the way he would have said it. Batman's not angry at Goku, more like a parent at the moment. He wishes Goku would understand a little bit more because he feels like Goku's got greater potential than he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely what we were trying to get across. It's like, everything Batman said is wrong, but it's got like that kernel of truth to it. That's really what makes it hurt. It's that thing of like, you can legitimately like love someone, really respect someone, but like if you say something in anger, it's really hard to take it back. Because you can know someone so well that even when you're like not completely right, there's still something there that's like that really makes a sting to it. So that's what we were kind of going for in that scene. The giver of L gave a $2 donation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
What if Brainiac got the big ghetto star or Lex Luthor? I guess that could happen over in Smokestick's universe, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, hell, that's an idea. Keep that. Someone save that because if me and Smokestick do decide to do more of the Superman in DC thing, Superman in Dragon Ball thing, that's a good idea for like a special of like fucking because Brainiac's been defeated, but he could always come back as Metal Brainiac.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like Brainiac's thing in the comics though. He's always got like all these different versions of himself.
You know what a good scene would be? Okay, so like this is to give you guys a glimpse of how this writing process happens. So like we mentioned something offhandedly, and then I freak out and say, "Oh, wouldn't this be cool?" And then we talk about it. So here's my pitch. Okay, so you know that scene in the Cooler movie with Metacooler where like they've finally beat him. And then, like, they break down and they go out of Super Saiyan because, like, wow, that was a tough battle, but we finally did it. And they look over the horizon and they see, like, 1,000 coolers. And they're just like, wow, shit. My idea for that is Brainiac comes up to Superman. And Superman's just like, what body is this, Brainiac? I don't care how strong you've got and I won't let you defeat this. And then Superman beats Brainiac. And then Brainiac, before he destroyed, he's like, well done, Superman. You managed to defeat Brainiac 1,000,000,002.
It's just like I'm just imagining Superman like holding the head, and then like he looks over and sees the other 1 billion coming around the corner, and he just like crushes the head in his hand.
It's not even just that. It's just like, oh yeah, that's what one of us was doing. We've spread out across the entire universe collecting information now. We're not even all going to attack you, because attacking you can be like he can barely beat one. It's just like the scale is like changed completely. And like the idea of like Brainiac 1, Brainiac 5, just the idea of one of them just breaking that scale and be like, oh, we're on Brainiac 1,000,000,000.5.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Another $2 donation from the Comic Platypus. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Too kind.
I feel like I really gotta maybe I can get a poll installed here, and like I'll do a poll dance for the $100 donation.
Please, I need that. Can I donate? Hold on a sec. Fuck this drawing. I need to see that, folks.
Has no Clark Kent journalism also helped Luthor? To an extent. Though really, my opinion, at least in the comics, is that Lois Lane is the journalistic force that's always nipping at Luthor's heels, and Clark does more like the humanities kind of stories, the human interest pieces. That's my take on it, at least.
Yeah, I completely agree. Clark is the guy who gets the really killer, emotional, soul of Metropolis kind of stories about, like, trying to save an old lady from getting evicted by her corrupt landlord kind of pieces. Whereas Lois Lane is the one taking out politicians and, like, world leaders. So she's the one who's been going after Luthor the most, like the comics, but not necessarily without the Clark Kent influence, without the Superman, with the intelligence and the tenacity and the sheer unbreakable, like the Superman who will find a way no matter what to take out Luthor because he understands how dangerous Luthor really is. Without that, and without Luthor's time being taken up by trying to deal with this obsession of Superman, it's just not one of the... It's just Lex Luthor's had more time to cover any mistakes he would have made in the main comics, because Goku is... It's not necessarily even a power thing, it's just a focus thing, right? Is Goku, even in the... We make an initial point, and it's kind of a gag, but when they say Goku, Lex Luthor's the most powerful man in the world, Goku immediately goes to, oh, he must be strong then. Goku hasn't really grasped how dangerous Lex is in, like, the political sphere and all of this, because he doesn't get it. So he hasn't really... He's just not equipped to fight that battleground. So Lex Luthor's just been going for free, and it's not even that he's been doing more evil, because without Superman around, Lex Luthor's been doing his original thing of trying to be seen as Metropolis' hero. So he is... I don't know how much we've been able to say this, but his superhero name is Superman. Lex Luthor is called Superman in our universe. That's who that name is. And he goes around saving people, admittedly probably in disasters he causes, but, you know, no one dies. So Lex Luthor's kind of been going this really over-the-top, meandering, just no control of what he's... Well, no one's been able to check him, and Lois knows something's off, but she can't quite put a finger on it, and that's kind of where they're at.
The Giver of L says, will ignoring Lex come back to bite him in Goku in the end? No, of course not. Goku lives without consequences. Todd Howard, $10 donation, well, $9.99, sorry. Says, by the way, I got some cool stuff happening in Aqua Beast. Got a new character named Horse, Norse for horse. It's the Horse Fruit model Selper. I'm super glad you helped me reignite your writing. Hey man, it's great. Thanks for the donation and stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. It really helps out.
It's been super cool seeing people talk about like what they're writing in the Discord. I don't know much about like most of the series they've talked about so far, but like it's neat to see the passion. You know?
That's all what this is about. Because again, Geeks for Fun. It's meant to be, at least what I want this channel to be. I want it to be like a hub for every idea you've ever had like scoffed at because people have been like, oh yeah, that concept's just, no, it's too much. This is the place where you're like, you know what? The concept might take some work, but we're going to put in the work to make it work. Because, again, some great people, some really smart people will hear the words Dragon Ball DC crossover and then they won't even pay attention to it, right? It's got that, like, kind of stigma behind it. And what I want to kind of do with this mission is, in the same ways that the talented people like Carfu's Dojo and Smugstick and Masako, they've all kind of brought legitimacy to, like, the What If, and, like, even earlier back with, like, Quaman and all these great channels. I kind of want to do that to, like, the crossovers. Because you read Justice League JL, or you talk about the cancelled Batman Daredevil crossover and stuff like that. There's so much good potential for stories. Or even, again, the fantastic Kenshin Zoro video. That's kind of... You should all totally go and watch that again, because that deserves more views than it actually has. But that's such a great concept that you would never be able to tell without doing a crossover What If.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just one of those ideas that's kind of floated in the back of my head for a long time since I was watching both Zoro and Kenshin kind of around the same time, and it just kind of clicked. I'm like, the timelines don't exactly miss each other too much, so this could work. All right, let's blast through a couple of these. Pac-Man 9000 RC says, "Can we have sex?" $5,000 donation, I'll make it happen. Lucas F says, "I don't know if you guys like Ben 10, but a Dragon Ball Ben 10 crossover? I honestly have no idea about Ben 10 whatsoever."
I mean, maybe. The idea of Ben 10 being able to turn into any alien race, so yeah, he could turn into a Saiyan. I probably want to do something more with Superman with that, honestly. But yeah, that's what I do with that.
Okay. Metal says yo.
Howdy.
Double Kick Sanji too says, hey, how it's going? Hey, everybody, we got a star here.
It's our Goku.
Yeah, everyone say hi to Goku. It's good to see you. Thanks for dropping by on the stream. The Anime Noob. Also, Lex Luthor should be the one who makes Cell, which is what I'm assuming you're going to do. There's no Cell. I can reveal that plan. Like, this is one of those comments where, like, it's kind of a cool idea, but there's no Cell in this universe.
Yes, people have been asking for, like, Frieza and other Dragon Ball characters. The only Dragon Ball thing we're keeping is the Saiyans. Everything else is going to be DC stories.
Yep, the Saiyans and Planet Vegeta. That's really all it comes down to, is just Planet Vegeta. Is the only thing that's new to the DC universe. It's pronounced Slipnir. It's Odin's horse from Norse mythology. My bad, Alfie. Why didn't you correct me? How dare I?
You know, I want to make you fail in a public platform, just so it's funny when you're corrected.
I mean, like, the funny thing is he donated $5 more just to correct me, which is like an impressive level of pedantry. I salute you, sir.
I mean, how can we make
awesome.
more mistakes if we're gonna get that kind of book?
I know, like, wait, hold on, check this out. I got this. Hey guys, Super Saiyan is so dumb. I hate the names of the Japanese characters and their pronunciations. Like Bluma, who's gonna say that? That's stupid. All right, there we go. That'll drive
What have you done? We'll just see my sub count just drop to 0.
Alrighty. Did the other heroes like Green Lantern even know Goku was the Saiyan before Raditz showed up? Nope. Goku didn't even know. No one knew that Goku was the Saiyan except for Abin and he kind of kept it under wraps.
Yes, I Ching would have known as well, but he's like he's a cosmic being who wouldn't mention it or anything.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Let's see here. Godzilla OOX. Will you adapt any of the Dragon Ball arcs, or are you strictly limiting yourself to the Saiyan saga? That's an interesting one, because what we want to do is a lot of what ifs are like really cool and fun concepts, but then they kind of they cycle through the series. It's like Dragon Ball video games. They cycle through the series and then they're just out of ideas. So we started this with something that's roughly equivalent to Dragon Ball, and then we started the Saiyan saga out, and that is not an exact one-to-one, but it is very intentionally playing off the beats of the Saiyan saga from Dragon Ball. Now we're in the Entity saga, which it's kind of sort of like Namek, except not really. And that's about where the similarities to the main canon are going to end. We definitely came up with the concept pretty early on that what events need to happen for these characters to still feel like the same people. So it's not just a guy named Goku in the DC universe who's nothing like the character in Dragon Ball. Same with Vegeta. What needs to happen for this character to kind of be the same person, but in the DC universe? So basically, after the Entity saga, it's going to be more or less completely original storytelling within the confines of the DC universe with these characters. Because after that point, we feel that the characters are at where they need to be to really get a lot of work done with them.
Mm-hmm. And obviously there'll be homages and references to things you've seen in Dragon Ball media before, but it will mostly just stick to that as just like, hey, this is a cool thing that we want to give these characters this moment still. But it would be, the context of it would be so different, it would be basically a new scene. Yeah,
exactly. Like I see comments on occasion like, "Oh, so Majin Buu's the doomsday of this universe." Nope, no Majin Buu. It's really not coming through that way. And like, so we're also taking that into consideration with what stories we're telling, as far as like what DC stories we're homaging and stuff. And so like again, nothing's going to be a 1-to-1. From this point forward, it's going to be very similar. Like right now, the Entity saga is based around a lot of the stuff that was happening in the 90s with these characters, like with Parallax, Green Lantern, and all that stuff. But it's the way the entities are handled in Green Lantern comics was never as satisfying to me as I thought it could be, and so we're kind of leaning into that and really trying to spruce the world building up with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Otot says, yo. Mythologicus says, you like GT, so potentially Baby could show up in Dragon Ball DC?
We have the
I'll
Tuffles.
say that's one of the few things that's a maybe, as far as actual Dragon Ball characters that could show up. That's a maybe.
Because we have Planet Vegeta, but that includes the Tuffles. So we get one race. But unfortunately the Tuffles were all killed.
Yep. So the Baby is one of those things where like we did kind of talk about that as a possibility, but we don't know if we're gonna go if we've got anything really definite planned for that, or maybe it'll just be something like a reference. There's that one's a little more maybe. Double Gig Sanji says, I enjoyed GT, definitely had interesting ideas. Thank you. Yes, we agree. Todd Howard says, here's an idea for Doom Patrol and DVDC. Mr. Nobody literally begins to mess with Goku's origin within DVDC, complicating and retconning his origin. To save his origin, he teams up with the Doom Patrol. Maybe, to be honest, like, the Doom Patrol's got that thing of they're all freaks, and I just don't feel Goku really fits in with that as much as, like, he'd need to. If we're going to do, like, it wouldn't be connected to Dragon Ball DC at all, but if I was going to put a Dragon Ball character in the Doom Patrol, I'd almost have to go with Piccolo.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, like that's the thing where is he's got that outsider thing that really clicks with the Doom Patrol in a way that I don't think Goku does. Maybe like Kid Goku, but even then, he's not that weird. He's just got a tail. There are some plenty good people down in like Mississippi that have tails. I'm sure.
My aunt has a tail.
Vex T-Rex says, Hi. Ultra Instinct Goku. If Goku was the leader of the Justice League instead of Superman,
Goku's not a leader.
Yeah, he's not the leader in our Justice League. It's Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the de facto leader of the Justice League in Dragon Ball DC. Because honestly, she should have been a long time ago. V-Rex T-Rex also says, love your what-ifs, man. Thank you. We love making them. So
exactly. We love hearing from you that you love them. It's a whole love conundrum going on right now.
Let's see. Go down to the bottom, make sure I didn't miss any chats. Yeah, we're still good. Okay. Everyone, we're going to try to get through pretty much every comment, but I might have to jump forward because we are lagging. Alright, I'll be honest, I am a big fan of Deliverance, don't get me wrong, the animation is amazing, but it's way too fast-paced. I ain't spoiling it, but in my opinion, it goes too fast. I did a review of Deliverance over on Geeky Gentleman Fan Film Reviews, and it's far from perfect, but there are things I like about it. Cyber Samurai says, what if Iron Man was in Dragon Ball? That could be interesting.
He tries to fuck Bulma.
Yeah, like immediately, and I mean, depending on when they met, Bulma would probably be all over that. I don't know. That's one of those things where I'm like, I'm just trying to think. Tony Stark's is it Dan Slott that had the really good Tony Stark quote, where it's like, you could put Tony Stark in the middle of a desert without a single piece of technology, and he would come flying out on a jet made out of cactuses, or something like that. Where it's just Tony Stark's a genius no matter where you put him. He isn't like confined by anything. So I guess he'd probably be able to keep up and maybe even excel in the Dragon Ball world with that kind of caveat of like he can make a suit of armor that's capable of anything, out of anything, anywhere you put him.
Yeah, I don't know how he deal with characters like the Saiyans and Frieza, but even if he was kind of like useless during those periods, the moment you get to the Android saga, he saves the day. Like, hard.
Yeah.
Like, he immediately finds a way to shut down the androids and Sal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. Tomatoes are just worse cucumbers.
Again! I love it.
Kakarot doesn't look like a Clark. That's that's actually a line I've thought about, because we've talked about doing like little in between episodes kind of things, and one thing I kind of want to do is like an interview with Lois Lane titled like Meet Kakarot Kent, that would take place after the events of the Saiyan saga, before the Energy saga really kicks off, where Goku's doing an interview with Lois where he's talking about how he's like, yeah, it turns out I'm a Saiyan, and once I had that information, it made so much sense to me, because that's why I'm going by Kakarot Kent now, because to be honest, I never really felt like much of a Clark. That's definitely a line, something kind of like that at least, that I wanted to have this version say, but there isn't really time for it in the events of the Entity Saga, so it's one of those things I kind of want to find a way to fit in somewhere along the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When we get in the podcast where we go over all the interactions Goku would have, like, seriously, I want to see Goku turn Doomsday good. Do we just go through the whole DC character encyclopedia and say, okay, Ted Kord, what is Goku's interaction with Ted Kord?
I mean, Ted Kord thinks he's just a complete barbarian, doesn't know how to use his powers properly, and like wastes his potential. And then Goku thinks, well, he's kind of a nerd.
Shut up, nerd! Push you in a locker. There we go. Man, all right. Godzilla OOX, kind of on that same line, says, what does Alfred think of Goku?
Oh, what does Alfred think of Goku? I don't know. As my distant relative, Alfred Pennyworth, he thinks Goku's a good boy. He just thinks he's someone who needs a helping hand to understand what he can really do. But he appreciates that he really does, probably more so than the main canon. He really likes knowing that Bruce has a friend who's known him since a very young age, when they were like kids, and isn't like hush. Like he likes that Bruce has someone who knew him as Bruce Wayne first in the superhero community, even if Goku's still kind of like, again, we make the joke that Goku doesn't really remember it. The moment he brought it up, Goku's like, oh yeah, sure, and like he remember the moments and stuff like that. And it definitely does, even though he'll never say it, it does mean a lot to Bruce Wayne that he is friends with Goku, because again, he understands that martial art is philosophy of Steve Baxter always has a very good point, that Batman goes for all these martial arts training but then comes away with like none of the wisdom. Goku has the wisdom. He's very enlightened and very peaceful, and a lot of just Taoist teachings in Goku, although he's a very simple character, but like that's the point. He lives a very simple life. He doesn't have... Goku basically follows the mantra of live only with what you can carry on your back. So that's why he only has one outfit, and like his house is very bare, and he only doesn't have that many belongings or anything. He's living his best life to express himself, and he's happy with who he is. And Batman needs someone like that, because you've got members in the Justice League who are like that, but even Wonder Woman has these giant crises of self almost constantly. But Goku, yeah, he had that in the Saiyan saga, but before that, he was very chill dude to be around, and being so close to him with Batman, yes, Batman will get on his nerves, like Batman will like, not get on Goku's nerves, but Goku will get on Batman's nerves, and he'll kind of chastise him, but in very much the same way that Vegeta probably does really appreciate, especially in the Buu saga onwards, having Kakarot around as kind of that bit of light in his life. I think Bruce really does need that, and it's something we'll get into more as we discuss Batman. And now that Parallax has basically been taken out, he's still with Batman, but you'll get to see an interaction in the next episode which will kind of go more into what is their relationship like when Batman isn't possessed by a demon fear entity.
Alrighty. Can you guys somehow implement fusion in the future? Maybe. It's just one of those things we need to think about and find justification for it, but also you need the story justification for it, because especially with our Saiyans just being so OP compared to mainline canon, you almost don't need it. So that's a maybe. It could also come off as just a little too beyond the conceit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Moonman Jeff, another cool username. Will Nappa and Raditz return in the Saiyans in DC, maybe as Black Lanterns or unintentionally brought back after the Entity Saga?
People love Raditz, don't they?
Yeah, they really love Raditz. Maybe it's just one of those things where it's like we've got a lot of plans, but that's one where we're not sure what we're going to do with. Yeah, that's a vague maybe. What if My Hero Academia and MCU existed in the same universe? I don't know anything about MHA.
Yeah, I'm not really a My Hero Academia fan either. Not for lack of watching or anything. I just haven't got the time. But a lot of people do really seem to like it, especially a lot of you guys. So, given there is a demand, I probably will end up watching it just so I can. Again, you all seem to really want that content. So, if you do really want to see us do some My Hero Academia what ifs, I will give it a watch, and I may not like it, so then that still doesn't guarantee it, but like, I wasn't ever planning on watching it.
What if My Hero Academia didn't suck in this video essay?
Yeah, if I that's the thing. If I like it, it will get like a normal what if. If I don't like it, I'll do that video for like April Fools or something. So no, just know you brought this on yourself.
Todd Howard says, so if we suggest stories you guys like, you might make a video on it. Again, yeah, maybe. It's one of those things. We've got a lot of things planned, but it could be on the back burner for a long time. But if we really, really like it, it could definitely happen. Yeah. Like that. There's an example of that happened in Discord recently. Can we talk about that? Or
yeah, sure.
No? Okay, someone was like, we were talking about the Tuffles do still exist in this universe. And so someone was like, what if a Saiyan became Green Lantern? And we're like, well, no, because they suck. They're bad. That would never happen. What could maybe happen is like a Tuffle, and then Alfie made an OC out of it, which is really cool.
In fact,
so, like,
let me get her up.
Oh, yeah. So, like, because of, just kind of talking story ideas, it didn't necessarily start as what if a Tuffle was a Green Lantern, but it definitely, an idea generated it, and we've kind of built that into the lore of this universe, and there may be an opportunity to bring it up in a video here somewhere.
Here we go. There she is. That's Peach.
Yay, Peach, the Tuffle Green Lantern.
That is the Tuffle Green Lantern who existed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago and doesn't actually exist. She's long dead. No one really knows about her. She wasn't important. She was like a minor character. But there's a bit of lore of you wondering, well, would the Saiyans get Green Lantern ring? As Ian said before, no. But yeah, the Tuffle's dead. This was their Green Lantern, Peach.
Yep, just cool stuff like that. Let's see here. A couple ads in the conversation. Goku, Steve says, Goku going full JKD is my new favorite thing. Thanks, Alfie. There you go. The Anime Noob says, what if All Might or Izuku Meteori existed in Marvel? Again, I don't
yeah,
know.
My Hero Academia again with All Might. Don't really know myself, so I can't. I'm not the person you'd ask for that because I wouldn't be able to do it a good story if I don't know the series, right?
Yeah. Godzilla OOX, but Goku would teach her patience and she would teach him to be more adult, perfectly balanced. I think that's related to Goku X Wonder Woman, question mark?
Maybe, or Shiva?
Yeah, maybe, I'm not sure.
Clarify that if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm very behind on chat, so we're just trying to move through. Hot girl racist against Saiyans. Guess she wouldn't like Jinne. No, yeah, she doesn't matter if you're a kind-hearted Saiyan or anything. She kind of hates all of them, and she was very much enjoying beating the shit out of Nappa for all 2 seconds that happened.
And you got to understand, Hawk Girl goes through a period of reincarnation. So, for people who don't know the lore of her, she would have been fighting the Saiyans for hundreds of years of hundreds of lives. And in our universe, each one of them was killed by a Saiyan. Mm-hmm. At least the spacefaring ones.
Yep. The one that got her stranded on Egypt was a Saiyan that just shot her down. Or something like that. Who knows? Saiyan Review says, Are you going to introduce anything from GT, like how Goku draws energy from the moon in Blitz waves, just like Superman takes energy from the sun? Yeah, I mean that was definitely introduced. With the idea of Blitz waves is definitely canon to Dragon Ball DC because Vegeta uses it to transform, and it's also revealed that the mother boxes inside his armor can produce them as needed.
Mm-hmm.
And Lex Luthor also has a way to hack them.
Yeah, we specifically mentioned that Lex Luthor has figured that out and already thought of a counter.
Yep. The Comic Platypus says Karate Kid might love fighting more, but he's pretty out of the way. Yeah, he's what, in the year 3000? There you go. Goku visits the Legion of Superheroes. Is like, oh, cool, Brainiac 5. Oh, cool, Lightning Lad. There's a guy who's into karate?
That's like immediately out of my way.
Yep. Mythology guys, I remember you did mention you'd like to go all the way to Ultra Instinct. Without giving anything away, it's teased in the first episode. So there you go. Tomatoes are just worse cucumbers, our new favorite subscriber. My name versus Dragon Ball DC. I mean, instantly you win. Like, just what's Batman gonna come up with a counter for tomatoes are just worse cucumbers?
He's right, goddammit.
Kamikaze Badger. I was hoping the Boo saga. I don't know if you mean like that will get to that or something, but I don't know. Just stick around. Trust us. We're going to do some really cool stuff with these characters, and you'll get some DC lore and knowledge, and it'll be cool. We promise. It'll be like nothing you've ever seen, and that's a good thing. Pineapple sauce. Will SSJ God become a thing in the Goku and DC universe? Maybe that. If it is, that's just so far out. Because of just again, like I said with fusions. What's going to require that level of power, right? It's just that's pretty far out if we do come up with anything for it.
Mm-hmm. And there isn't even what would God Key even look like in DC? Well, how would you even get it without? Because there's not enough Saiyans alive.
Yeah, right. Zonin Blade 90. Now I'm wondering about a version of Superman versus the Elite, but it's Goku. That's an interesting one.
They wouldn't have had the same moral conflict, though. That's the problem. They would have probably gone after Wonder Woman in that situation.
That's a good point. Is Amazo going to show up? Imagine Amazo with Super Saiyan. It's possible. That is a good point to make for it, but yeah, we just don't have anything planned as of the moment. That's just another one of those ideas where keep shooting it at us, maybe we'll come up with something. Anton Lamoth, sorry if I'm messing that up. DC, what is the superhero name that people gave to Goku? Again, he just goes by Kakarot Ken. He's a bit of an oddball in the DC universe for not having a secret identity. Trenton Brown, favorite comic in DC right now? I fancy the current Wonder Twins comic. Tom King Batman?
Tom King Batman.
Yeah. It good. Zonin Blade 90. It's bothersome the situation with Netflix heroes and the main heroes. I don't know what you mean by that. Also Zonin Blade 90. GeeksForFun. I just got an idea. Ever heard of the H dial H for hero?
Yes.
So I guess that's I don't know. That's just where the question ends. So I'm just like, Goku dial H for hero? Question mark.
I mean, depends what aspects from Saiyans would get. Like again, it's like similar to the Ben 10, right? It's the same kind of vibe, but maybe I don't know. I'd have to. Again, it's one of those things I know of the concept. Haven't really done that many dives into it. I'd have to do a deep dive if I include everything I include in DBDC. Everything we include in DBDC is like deep dives. And you guys seem to respect that as well, because everyone mentions, oh, well, I really like this point he said. That's why Ian's the big Green Lantern guy, and without him, I would have never done the Entity Saga. We've done a completely different thing, because he's got all the Green Lantern lore, and he really helped me understand and appreciate that aspect of the universe, and it made the story so much stronger for it. So we couldn't have done that if if he didn't have that already deep-seated knowledge of the universe to be able to do a story around it. So if I don't really know something, it's a lot less likely to get touched on. Not even for the fact of it's bad or anything, it's just, again, I like to do the best story possible. And if I'm not comfortable with the tools I'm using, like any artist or any craft, you're not going to do the best piece if you're not familiar with what you're getting.
Yeah, yep, totally. When Norse? That's what, later this month, right?
Yes, that's later this month. That's the only what if that's coming this month, sadly, because I need to make sure I've got enough time for just general life stuff and finishing DBDC, the Entity Saga for December. So this month's only one what if, but that's going to be the next DB Norse, and that's also going to have voice acting with a very special guest. If you've been watching his streams, you know this already, but we're bringing on Masako X for that. He's joining us, and he's going to be voicing that version of Goku. Sanji's still going to be our main DBDC Goku, but I figured it'd be a fun idea to have the canon Goku have a different voice, so that maybe one day we might even do like a crossover where Kakarot Kent meets the main Dragon Ball universe or something, and they'd have different voices. But yeah, that's exciting. Masako X is joining us, and we'll make a full official announcement when that video goes up. But yeah, stay excited for that. It's looking really good. I'm really excited to see how you guys react to the next Norse DB episode, because things escalate.
Nice. Yeah, things escalate. Thor almost killed Gohan in the last one. That was pretty tame.
I mean, right?
Let's see. Kind of like some stuff that's kind of passed. Here's an idea. Would you guys be interested in doing what if Stark Industries replace Capsule Corp in Dragon Ball? So, like, take Bulma and Capsule Corp out and put Tony Stark and Stark Industries in. That's interesting, especially because you definitely want to keep, like, the kind of war profiteer background. And I just don't
what if
know
he's part of an army?
Yeah, like he worked with the Red, or like he found out that his company was selling weapons to the Red Ribbon Army. Oh, that's kind of a cool idea. So like Iron Man and Goku take down the Red Ribbon Army together. Oh, that's a fun one. I really like that. That's a cool idea. Okay. Zoneblade, no, I want to see Goku versus Darth Maul. He has so much potential for what-if stories. Yeah, because he's not a freaking character.
Damn.
Alfie and I did a character discussion on Darth Maul recently, so you can go check that out.
Yep.
Over on Kiki Gentleman if you want to hear our thoughts on Darth Maul. But yeah, I like Maul, but he's got so much potential because you can go wherever you want to with him. Because he's not a character. He's a double-bladed lightsaber with a cool design. Alrighty. Nova, the Skullgirls gamer. Any chance of having future Gohan and Trunks in New Dragon Ball DC what-if stories? Again, we kind of talked about like whether or not any other like Saiyan kids are going to show up, and there's potential for it, but again, we just haven't gotten that far into the series yet.
And again, there's no Chi-Chi or Bulma, so whatever kids would happen would be different than the main series.
Yep, exactly. Superman, but evil, or DC stories, but it's mean-spirited towards the fans. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
preach.
And into Tales from the Dark Multiverse. Thanks, I hate it. I don't know, I'm kind of interested in Blackest Night in that one, but I don't know. Have you read the Death of Superman one yet?
No, I need to get around to that. I was really excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out too. I'm kind of curious. Though that's something I'll probably trade weight on. When Norse this month. Tomatoes are just worse cucumbers. Will you do a crossover with Smugstick Superman what if?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay. Just vague maybe, smile wink at the camera there.
If I had webcam still on, you'd get a sexy wink there for her. Daddy knows what you want. Let's just say that.
No. Alright, I'm gonna make you do a stupid. Scroll up to Goku's face.
Uh-huh.
Do it.
Oh no, where am I going? There you go.
Scroll up to Goku's face. Now quickly just paint over his eyes so it looks like he's winking, and then undo it.
No.
You're not fun.
I'm a geek for misery.
D-Jax the Saiyan 479. I haven't taken the time to read the comics of this, but were you thinking of adding the Batman who laughs? Never in a
Oh
million.
no, we did a skit for this. Remember?
We did?
Well, you definitely came up with the joke. This is I remember the funny moments. All right, here it is. Live action spoilers. Ah, I'm the Batman who laughs. I'm so kooky. Wow, you're really weak, huh? Blast. End of the series. Bye.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, I'm not the biggest fan of Scott Snyder stuff.
I don't mind him though. That was he. I jest. Ian bites.
Alrighty. Okay, which I know for a fact is false, given that you gave me a heart when I did a bit about doing a Toonami-style opener for Dragon Ball DC. Check out the outro, man. It was cool. I was really happy to get to 3D model that. It was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to watch. Here's a quick poll. How do you add a poll? Does anyone actually watch the outro to the very end of the video? Hashtag end of the video club.
Did anyone watch the end of the video of the Saiyan saga? Because
Yeah,
there's a whole blooper reel there that no one mentioned.
Yeah, we never get comments about that. It's super disheartening because it's freaking hilarious. Okay. Who's Goku best friend in DC Universe like Krillin is in Dragon Ball?
Alright, so 2 answers. Jimmy Olsen is really special to him just because they got to hang out a lot and they have fun adventures together, and he was the one who kind of introduced him to Metropolis and everything. Lois Lane's like his Bulma, she's like a big sister to him. Being close to the superhero community, his best friend's Batman.
Alright. Where was that? Okay. I was wondering, what if Goku landed on Middle Earth, or what if Kenshiro was in the Game of Thrones universe? Brief summary of what you think would play out. Kenshiro, who?
So from Fist of the North Star, that's Kenshiro. The guy who's like...
Okay.
I don't actually know much about Fist of the North Star, but that concept sounds dope. I think he'd fit really well in the Game of Thrones. Like, having that kind of, like, super shonen character show up in Game of Thrones where everything's so bleak, I think you can have a fun dynamic with that. That's something to keep in mind. Maybe someone else who knows more about Fist of the North Star steal that idea, because I would actually, as a fan, like to watch that.
Nice. As far as Goku and Middle Earth, dude, I don't even know what you do with that. That's a can of worms. Like, how does Goku react to freaking orcs and shit?
Doesn't he just solve that entire problem, like, instantly?
Like, okay, so here's the thing that I find interesting is, like, obviously we have characters in DC and Marvel who do, like, energy attacks and everything, and so it's reasonable for Goku to figure out, energy blasts and stuff. If you put Goku in a situation where he's got no native knowledge, like, nothing to parallel to, I don't think he learns, like, the Kamehameha.
Yeah, you're right.
So, like, I don't know what Goku would be like in Middle Earth. It's a weird idea. Does Goku like Booster Gold or Ted Cord? Yeah, they're cool. He
probably gets on with Booster Gold quite a bit. He probably... Booster Gold probably really appreciates Goku, because Goku just takes his word at face value. So when he says, "I'm the greatest hero of all time," Goku's like, "Wow, you must be really..." Like that. Okay. Goku and Booster Gold have like a Mr. Satan dynamic.
There you go. That's a good one. Goku, want to be friends? Larfleeze. Sure. It's more like, Goku, want to be friends? Yes, I want friends.
Larfleeze is a sad boy. He just wanted some companionship, and he loves Goku for it.
Yeah, exactly. Then the fact that Bruce is paranoid in the first place really doesn't help in regards to the whole Parallax Batman thing. Yep, we really wanted to turn the dial up on the whole paranoid-ass Batman. It's a "you're wrong, Walter, you're just an asshole" situation. I think that's, I'm sorry, we're behind. Will the DC Kakarot eventually become more mature than his original counterpart?
He already kind of is.
Yeah, like a little bit, and we're not going to change him much from here in that particular regard.
But mature maybe not be the best terms. He'll be more active. Goku in Dragon Ball is a very passive character, not in terms of his own goals, but in terms of like he's not going on patrol and he's not like he's happy to just sit and mind his own self improvement and train, and that's a validly response. In DC though, given the amount of threats and stuff, you do kind of have to take more responsibility for the world at large, and we'll be dealing with more ways about how Goku, he'll never be Superman, and he shouldn't be Superman, but how can Goku in his own way become a different kind of inspiring hero, and we're going to kind of deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Are you planning on making Odin Dragon Ball Norse? Yes, Odin's hinted at in the first episode, so he will be showing up in the series.
And his art will be finished very soon. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Hey, it's Primal Mythos. It'd still be funny if DC Goku actually wrote a food review for the Daily Planet. That's a funny idea. Maybe that's like Jimmy Olsen, like a little column that they give him is he does food reviews for restaurants. They're all just like so pure and overwhelmingly positive.
He's like, and then I ate this and it was so good, but then the next one it was even better. It's like you can't, and it's like a McDonald's.
Then he goes to like a French restaurant. He's like, I gotta be honest, I wasn't really a fan. The portions were so small.
Goku's all about give me that buffet or get out of town.
Yeah. Goku walks down the streets of Metropolis and buffets shutter their doors in fear. Okay. I'm getting my studio set up. I'll be applying soon. Maybe in regards to voice acting or something. We're still on the lookout for those, though we don't want to have too many people because then it becomes a job to try to keep track of a bunch of people. But if we ever do need a voice for something, we'll make an announcement somewhere. The best place to do that is probably joining the Discord. That's the easiest place for us to just kind of throw stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
What the Flash wish for if he used the Dragon Balls? What would the Flash wish for if he had a chance to get the Dragon Balls?
Depending on which version. If it was Barry Allen, he probably wishes for his mum back.
But there's that limiter on that, isn't there?
No, that's only for natural deaths and for mass people. If it's actual, no, it's a common misconception. Mr. Fusion goes over this. It's a common misconception. The limit is only for people who have been dead in mass. That's how they revive Frieza.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Huh. Yeah, if it's Barry, it's probably that. If it's DC Rebirth Wally, it's like, just give me my goddamn family!
Literally.
If it's any other version of Wally's, like, yeah, can Barry, like, not be dead, but also just not be the Flash, so I can be the main Flash again and everyone can be happy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That really helped me out, guys. Do me a solid.
Right. And Shenron's like, that is beyond my power.
Like, Dan DiDio is above me.
Fucking how weak is Kami? He's an old man. I don't know why you're surprised. Well, Goku becomes smarter after he goes Super Saiyan. And see, Goku displayed great telepathic ability during his battle with Frieza. It would be great if Goku had the intelligence to go with it. Telepathic? What?
So, like, he's talking about when, like, Goku talks to King Kai through his mind. I think, and then also like that part where like Goku like puts his hand on Krillin's head and just reads his mind.
I guess.
But I think you're looking at the wrong character.
That was more King Kai than it was Goku.
Yeah, I can feel that too.
That's just me. I don't know. He has probably like at best very passive telepathy, and it's something he probably wouldn't want to use in a fight because it'd feel dirty.
Yeah, he probably would only use it for defense. To stop others from abusing it against him.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Steven O'Connell. I think if DC Kakarot were to turn Super Saiyan in the Entity Saga Part 3, once he does, in the far darkest reaches of the universe, Darkseid would sense it.
Well, he doesn't even need to do that. Darkseid already knows everything that happens everywhere. Darkseid is.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not wrong. Dajax, the Saiyan 479 says hi Goku, because don't kick Sanchi's in the chat. Titan 680 says Saiyans plus Tuffles. That's a fruit salad. Kamikaze Badger. No, nothing. That was fuck. I give you gold, and you don't even like snicker at it. You
Sorry, I was zoned out. What happened?
Fuck everything. I'm signing off. Kamikaze Badger. Actually, Amazo is closed to sell. Also, when Norse.
When Norse.
Sorry, behind.
You know, right now you know immediately I'm gonna be able to be saying like now Norse. The moment.
Yeah, right. Like that's gonna go in the video and everything.
I still crack up that you put the when Broly now in the fucking first episode of the Entity Saga.
I had to do it.
That was so funny. Blue Boy .65. How does the form I thought of sound? Super Saiyan God Purple or Super Saiyan God Lavender? I guess it'd be just another form of Super Saiyan God. Another. As much as I like Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, I have heard the criticism that it's basically just a palette swap, and I can't quite disagree with that as far as just like cool visual representation. There's something neat and minimalist about it, but so if we're doing more Super Saiyan forms, which I mean of course we will, I'd hope that they are a little more imaginative than just changing the color again.
Yeah, I agree. I really like God. I think God is more than a palette swap, and I think if God was just it, we wouldn't be having this conversation at all, because people would understand like God has other things going on, and the palette swap just adds like the simplicity of it. Like it's Goku with red hair as like a distinguishing feature, but the skinniness and the youthful appearance and the aura just looks completely different than any other form. But once you add blue and they get rid of the skinniness and they bulk him up a bit, and the eyes don't keep the unique pupils, and the aura even starts to look more like it really does start to feel like, okay, now we're just back to Super Saiyan but blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Super Michael 98 donated $1.99.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. He says, what if Goku and DC took place in Injustice? Okay. It would actually kind of work because let's not forget that Injustice is a fighting game, and Dragon Ball, of course, has had a lot of success in the video game community as fighting games. So let's put that caveat. There's probably actually more ground for that.
You know what you call it? Injustices.
Injustices. Oh man. That being said, I mean, you and I actually do quite like Tom Taylor's Injustice comic. It's not perfect, but we both tend to agree that he does a lot of good with the concept that the video game developers came up with, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, like, the idea of evil Goku tries to take over the world is so just, like, not in his wheelhouse that I'd really be confused on exactly how we get, you know, an evil Goku without just going Goku Black, you know? I don't know what you do. Maybe you do like Joker blows up Metropolis, and in the attempt to try to stop the explosion, he gets hit on the head again and becomes, you know, old school Kakarot with the Saiyan programming and everything. Maybe.
Yeah, that's again. Even then, that's like we've talked a bit about this a little bit. And I think it's probably the closest you'll ever get. The idea of basically doing Talis as the Injustice Lord's Goku is something which I feel like has some mileage to it. That we're not going to really do like a video on it, but it's definitely the lore there for people who are looking for it. So that's the closest you probably ever get to like, what if Goku went evil in the DC universe? because Goku doesn't have the same weight as when Superman goes bad, because when Superman goes bad, it's literally the end of everything. Because not only has he got the strength and speed and all of that, he's also got the intelligence where he can outthink everyone else before they've even thought about their move. Like, everyone likes to say Batman with prep time, but Superman with prep time, Jesus.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is Superman doesn't even need the prep time, right? He's constantly dealing with Lex Luthor, who's the greatest genius in history. Like Lex Luthor looks at, I like to imagine just like crazy shit to just explain how smart Lex Luthor is. Lex Luthor like has a collection of all of Leonardo da Vinci's diaries that were like lost to history, and he sits there and laughs at them because of how rudimentary they are. And also he got them, they were lost to history because he time traveled and stole them. Just to amuse himself, like just really kind of crazy shit like that kind of does it for me, for like the level of Lex Luthor's genius, and yet Superman's always keeping up with him and outwitting him. So that's kind of the thing to deal with there.
Mm-hmm. So with Goku, it would probably be a physical threat for sure, but they take him down. Kind of thing. He's not proposing because the thing with Injustice, right, is like everyone kind of goes along with it at first because hey, it's Superman, he can't have gone bad kind of thing. Goku going evil isn't gonna have that moral, no, we should do this is the better way. No one's gonna believe, and they're just gonna think, oh, we need to stop Kakarot.
The comic platypus in this verse, who'd be the replacement for the Kaluan and the Kryptonian for the first Green Lanterns? Kaluans could arguably still be a thing. We just decided to go with Brainiac as the Kryptonian AI origin. So you could still have like a Kaluan race. One of my headcanons, since I do actually really like the Brainiac's Kryptonian AI, one of my headcanons is the Kaluans are a race that have integrated themselves so much with technology that Brainiac just kind of took them over and started using their bodies to, replicate himself along the way.
That plays for me.
Yeah. As far as the Kryptonian as the first Green Lantern, I didn't know that a Kryptonian was one of the first Green Lanterns. It's definitely not a Saiyan, I'll say that much. Some other race got chosen. I don't know. I got nothing clever for that one.
It'll be another Tuffle before Peach.
Yeah, maybe, okay. Let's see here. The Giver of El. Wouldn't even Saiyans have the attention of the yellow and the red lanterns? Neither of those cores are a thing yet. So the Sinestro Corps, the Yellow Lanterns, do not exist yet in DBDC continuity. Sinestro has just escaped from his prison in Green Lantern Power Battery, which is where he was at around the time of Coast City's destruction and stuff and the events of Emerald Twilight. He and Parallax had just escaped that. So the Sinestro Corps has not been formed yet. And same thing for the Red Lanterns. The Red Lanterns are a corps that is formed relatively late in the game, along with the Blue Lanterns. Red and Blue Lanterns are formed pretty late in the game. Star Sapphires are kind of always off and kind of a weird in-between thing. When John Stidis run Indigo Lanterns and Larfleeze is the Orange Lantern were retconned to exist, so that's why they currently exist. So not all the cores are established yet. Which is why the Saiyans are not on, which is why there are no Saiyans with rings, and since most Saiyans are dead, you're not going to get one. Anyway. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Mythology Guy, I thought Broly would have been Doomsday. Again, Doomsday is one of those things where he's more of a Kryptonian creation, so it just we wanted to give Smug a lot of characters to play with in the Dragon Ball lore and have fun with that. So
and anyway, Broly has a character now, so we didn't want to just waste that.
Yeah, exactly. What's your favorite era of Superman?
Ooh, I mean, I'm a big fan of the the Busick Johns era, where like Kurt Busick was doing his thing and then Johns would do his thing with Gary Fank. That's really good. I like a lot of the Silver Age stuff because it's just so creative. And I'm really a big... Honestly, right now has been fantastic, just in terms of like the Superman like era of like every book being really, really good. And like just a line-wide thing, like even like Young Justice or Supergirl, like I don't read those personally, but people have been saying, yeah, they're right. It's one of those things where like the line has a lot of energy right now. So I would probably say right now is my favorite era, but in terms of what I wish took off more and which had the most potential, if they hit the ground running with Grant Morrison's Action Comics with the backstory he set up, oh boy, New 52 Superman would have been something special.
Okay. As far as me, I'm not the biggest Superman fan in the world. I read the character really casually. I've not been a huge fan of what Bendis is doing, mostly for just what it did to John Kent. So I don't know. I just don't. I don't have enough knowledge on Superman. I haven't read enough good runs. I've just read good issues with the character here and there. You know.
I feel that. It is hard. He is a character that has less good runs and more good individual stories.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way with Wonder Woman a bunch of times too. Cyber Samurai, I really like that you're much more creative and don't just rehash the same old formula. We're really glad that you like that. Again, that's something for me where I'm just like, as I watch a bunch of these what ifs and stuff, and they're cool, they're fun, but at the same time, like, again, the same criticisms that people have against the Dragon Ball DC or the Dragon Ball games is like, can't wait to fight Raditz again. I kind of think that about a lot of what ifs. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you're just going to go through all the same beats of the story, then it can get a little disappointing over time. So it's kind of fun to branch out and see other stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's just more fun creatively as writers for both of us to not have that limitation.
Yeah, definitely. Zonoblade 90 says, maybe Raditz or Tarble. I'm not sure what you mean by that, though. To be fair, I did see a comment from someone earlier today, like, could Tarble show up in Dragon Ball DC? He did. And he died.
Yeah, for anyone who's more recent for the bigger videos, I am noticing we've put up a big movie of the original Saiyan saga. If you do want to get caught up, if you didn't get to watch like the early Goku videos and stuff like that, I will admit they are, like, the first two are rougher than the presentation we have now, just because I was learning as I was going, but they're still entirely watchable. But do make sure to watch those because they will be very important for the future, and it'll help. Nothing's going to be complete. I will explain everything as always, but it just helps if you have that context, and then when we bring something in, you'll be like, oh my god, that ties back to this, and everyone likes that feeling, right?
Mm-hmm. Gami Perez says, out of curiosity, do y'all read Young Gigi's stuff?
Yeah, I have read Young Gigi's AF. He's actually been my favourite. Compared to him and Toyotaro, I think he's the better storyteller. It's still by no means perfect or like what I would envision, but I do quite like his take on AF. Cool.
Tomatoes are just worse cucumbers. Could a Goku Blacklight character show up? Maybe. I don't know. Alfie's the one that loves Goku Black.
Subarashi! Everyone get a Subarashi in the chat for me, please.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Again, maybe. There's been, like, things we've thought about, like, this could be a fun thing or that could be a fun thing, but just, you never know. Goku is superhero Bruce Lee. Exactly.
Yes, that's the perfect way to put it.
Become platypus. Cord likes Booster's idiotness. He might like Kakarot. After all, at least he isn't Guy Gardner. Yeah.
You might be right.
That's a good one. What if Infamous existed in Marvel or My Hero Academia?
Infamous.
Yeah, the video game franchise.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I mean, he'd just be either a generic superhero or a generic supervillain, right? Like that's the deal of that game. He'd just be like knockoff Livewire or knockoff Static Shock. Like there's not there's not much else to him character-wise, because the game is very much like a sandbox of just like a Grand Theft Auto kind of like, you want to enjoy the city and stuff like that. Like, that's not a disparaging thing, because I think it's the point, right? Is it's more the enjoyment of putting you in that character's shoes as like a self-insert of you make the decisions rather than it being like an actual character.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any plans for Turles in Dragon Ball DC? It could be a cool for Green Lantern Corps facing a band of space pirates led by a Saiyan. I did make a joke that, yes, I can do Kenjaro and Bruce Timm will approve. And Kenjaro could just have Turles on the team or something. I don't know why people are super into Turles. He's kind of a flat-ass character to me. Not to be rude or put too fine a point on it. If Turles shows up at this point, I think it'll be more like a wink or nod kind of thing as opposed to anything major, unless we really just, hammer on something great.
Yeah, I'm feeling you there. So I'm pretty much finished with this.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a quick little magic trick for everyone. So we've got this. Let me just turn this on. So we've got my special thing. There's a bit of grain filter to make this a little bit more Shintani. Let's add this. 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 Oh my god. Did I prepare all of this earlier? Am I professional? Let's add all these. Oh my god. Now it's really beautiful. Oh wait. Did I do a background as well? Nani? This is why I'm going to do the big, go even further beyond Super Saiyan powers on all your asses, because, yeah, I told you I was finishing this piece in the stream, and I am. I just wanted to make it look like I wasn't finishing it. All this is done now. This is... Let me get this out of the way. My references. Yuck! Yep, this is it. Okay. Here... Eek... is Super Saiyan 5 Goku.
I'm watching the stream live with everyone else right now, so it's like really annoying that I'm hearing you tease things and I don't get to see it, but now I'm like slowly seeing it all come together and it looks really fucking dope. Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, shit, that's good.
Yeah, so again, I just want to kind of do a little talk about this just so people know where I was going for. I had this idea of like the epilogue to GT. Like, this isn't like an own thing or for a what if even, but this was just my idea of Goku dies technically at the end of GT, but he goes off with Shenron, and like always, Goku, I imagine, finds a way to train. And my idea is that in this Dragon Realm, for these like decades and decades, he's the one who's been fighting whenever they start to get slightly corrupted or the Dragon Balls get used too much in like any century even. Like, this can go on for the end of time. Goku's job is the one who's there to pacify them. So he has to fight all the Shadow Dragons, and you'll notice I've put the Shadow Dragon Balls in the background over here. So he's fighting all of them over and over again, and obviously like Omega Shenron and everyone are way beyond Goku, so he has to train over and over, and some of it isn't bad, like, because when they're not being possessed, like, he was friends with Nova and all of that, like, it's just a good time for Goku to be in this afterlife of like eternal fighting and enjoyment. He finally just reaches something he could never do in his mortal life and find a way past Super Saiyan 4 by harnessing all the Super Saiyan power inside of him, and so he gets Super Saiyan 5, which would basically just be Super Saiyan 4 turning Super Saiyan with all the powers of Super Saiyan 3 and all that added on. That's why I get the longer hair. And for Aura, I was like, well, what's the most powerful thing in GT? Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So that's why I've given him the sparkly aura, and I think it looks really nice. I'm very happy with how this turned out.
Yeah, it looks really good. I never was much of a fan of the white Super Saiyan 5 that I've seen fan art of. It always just like, it was too much of one color, and so I really like the way this breaks it up and really makes it work.
Thank you. But yeah, just because this is finished, I'm still down if the people have more questions to continue to do this for a little bit extra. Just like the entertaining seeing my process is going to be over for that, because I'm happy with this finished.
Nice. It looks really good, man.
There you go. There's like that's all copyright free enough that you can put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even have to. It doesn't even say it's Goku. Just say the outfit's someone different.
It's just Monkey Man with long hair.
Sun Wukong unleashed.
Right? There you go. Zoning Blade 90. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Not just a Manson. Will Vegeta and Wonder Woman go out, followed directly by Godzilla 00X? So Vegeta gonna end up with Wonder Woman?
That is perfect timing right there, fellas.
Yeah. Again, like I don't know what the obsession with like Saiyans ending up with a Wonder Woman. I thought we were pretty clear about like, she's got Steve Trevor in this continuity. He's dead. He's dead. We're working on trying to save everyone that died. So I don't know what the obsession with Wonder Woman and Saiyan babies is. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shadow Batman says hi. Hi, Shadow Batman. Welcome aboard. Kamikaze Badger says JoJo X My Hero Academia. You're more of a JoJo fan, but again, we just don't have anything for My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that's where I stand too.
Yeah. Let's see here. At that point, the guy who previously was in love with Wonder Woman would be demoted to a Yamcha.
That's true.
Yeah. We are definitely not going to Yamcha Steve Trevor, I'll tell you that. Kamikaze Badger, if you watch My Hero Academia and liked it, yeah, well, maybe. Godzilla XX says, I meant Goku would teach Wonder Woman patience and she'd teach him to be more adult. See, this is just why that dynamic doesn't work for me, is because Wonder Woman probably wouldn't teach him that. She'd probably find his kind of like naivete, childlike nature really fun and joyous to be around. Especially with all the egos and friggin' dick measuring she has to deal with on the Justice League.
Literally, Goku is the best example of non-toxic masculinity in the entire realm of fiction. People portray him and love him as this figure of like male empowerment and everything, and he totally is, like, just visually, and his character, he's all about that. But unlike Vegeta, who is all toxic masculinity, Goku is like the biggest example of like, his wife's the one who runs the household, he doesn't argue with her, he agrees with everything she says, he just wants to eat and have fun, he doesn't hold grudges, he's always open for new friends, he always talks about his feelings, he's very expressive, and like, he's not above being silly, and like, he doesn't put on any fronts. It's like, that's just Goku, right? It's kind of incredible how he has kind of been accepted by Dubros, despite being something where like most people was like, is Goku like, he's an alpha or something? But Goku's such a charming, happy, like silly character, but while at the same time being very physical and very strong, that Wonder Woman would appreciate that so fucking much that she would never want to change that about him. Which is something why that relationship wouldn't work, because Goku does need someone to call him out.
Right. And then there's just the other side of this. He would teach Wonder Woman patience. Listen, Wonder Woman's trying to convert the whole world to understanding feminist empowerment. She's got an endless supply of patience as it is. That is, she does not even begin to need someone to teach her patience. Ultimate life form. How about Dio Brando was in Hellsing? How about what Dio Brando was in Hellsing Ultimate? If you haven't seen Hellsing or JoJo's, I'd highly recommend both.
I've seen both. I'm a big fan of both. I could see that. It could depend which Dio. Probably be part 3 Dio, because then that's more of like a fight between him and Alucard. I could do that for a fun one shot. That'd be cool.
Too bad we just missed Halloween.
Next year, baby.
Does Jeet get Wonder Woman? No. That is one hell of a sentence there. It just cracks me up. Again, I just don't get the obsession with Wonder Woman and Saiyans together. I don't get it.
Someone suggested a cool idea. What if Bowser was in Marvel, his kingdom, the power-ups, etc., and he tried to Kun-Lun Iron Fist? I don't know. That's kind of an interesting idea. I feel like he wouldn't be able to constantly get away with it in Marvel. Unless, like, what if Doom and Bowser switched universes?
Oh, I mean, that's something to it, right? This Doctor Doom would immediately try and find the power of the invincibility star and weaponize it.
Right? You wouldn't just leave him in boxes around his death traps.
And then Mario still beats him. And he's like, confound that plumber!
He did not defeat me. I simply chose to retreat.
Very well. I shall release your princess back to you, but I do it on Doom's own terms.
Gasp, what if Broly get Mira? Again, Arthur's dead, but we're working on that. And the women of DC are not just receptacles for Saiyan's seed.
And like, the whole point of the Mira episode is how much she's sad because she misses her husband.
Broly's gonna fix that out.
All she needs was a good bit of Broly dick, is all I'm saying. Aquacock.
Oh my. I meant your Goku was at a Buu Saga power level. No, you were saying Cell Saga, right?
Yeah, I'm sticking with how I imagine the generic General Justice League is around, like, the tier of the androids. And that's still really fucking powerful. That means Wonder Woman could take out the entire Dragon Ball universe at that point. Because the two androids on their own took out everyone. So I think that's a good gauge. Because when you get to Sal and they start blowing up solar systems, you do get to see that sometimes in DC, but it's always like these big, grand, one-off moments. Generally, they're much closer to, like, star level. And I think that's a good basis because Superman gets his powers from a star. Like, it matches lore-wise as well as feat-wise. So, again, if you disagree, feel free to disagree. There are plenty of examples that go against this. This is just for my universe. I like to keep it this way because it keeps the powers without getting bloated while still making them really impressive. Like, Goku, at his age, being this strong in his base form is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite comments on that was someone just going, I just can't imagine how powerful they are right now. It's so weird to think of them when they're at this level. Which is really, I love that one. That was a really good comment that someone left. Let's see here. What if Krillin was never in Dragon Ball?
It'd be a much worse series. Krillin's best boy.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think much would change. Goku never does Super Saiyan, I guess. Oh no, Frieza probably just kills Gohan. Yeah, not much changes. Sorry, Krillin fanboys.
Android 18 dies alone.
Yeah, Bulma kills Android 18 and saves the entire world. Vegeta never forgives her for it. Though, I don't know, maybe he'd be a little happy. He's like, well, my woman killed the woman that hurt me, so I guess this works. I can spin that. Wonder if this universe Gohan would be Superboy. Again, that's just one of those things. There's a lot to unpack with that. It doesn't quite work out, I think, the way people are thinking about it.
Yeah.
If Kakarot has a kid with Lady Shiva, would their child be in the Teen Titans? At this point, they'd be a baby if that were to happen. So no.
Yeah, you'd have to do like a big. We're like 7 years into the DC universe at this point, so like we're 3 years behind where like current canon generally is. If you do want to like kind of gauge things, as like normally it's been about like 10 years since Superman debuted. If you want to add on to that and say, well, maybe it's like 13, 14 because of John, go ahead, do that. So then say we're like halfway through. Even if we do like a 7-year time jump from where we are now, their baby would only be 7 years old. So like they wouldn't be in the Teen Titans.
Toddler Titans. There you go. You're welcome. DC, I'll take my money in the form of
DC
Grant
donated 50,000 in the super chat. Give me that idea, sexy boy.
Uh, what if Goku got all the Lantern Rings? Super Mega Ultra OP. See, again, no, because Goku doesn't inspire fear necessarily. Goku doesn't have unyielding rage. Goku definitely, like, as cool as he is, he doesn't really have, like, that kind of passionate love kind of thing. Not to the point that it's like those are the defining aspects of his character. He's got the capacity for love, he's got the capacity for rage, but those aren't defining aspects of what makes Goku Goku. And you need that to be able to wield the rings. No.
Yeah, it's not like the Infinity Stones where you can just put them on someone and then they get the boost. To use all the Lantern Rings at once, you have to be a very special kind of person.
Mm-hmm. And even then, like, there's a great moment in the early New Guardian series where Kyle Rayner gets all the rings and he doesn't even wield them right. He just immediately gets overwhelmed by their power. So yeah. Would Booster Gold be in this the greatest saga you never heard of? Maybe.
That'd be a good video title.
How about Naruto and Marvel?
See, the problem with Naruto is you put him in anything, and he's so lore dependent on his world and like the jutsu and everything from that if you don't have someone there who can teach him jutsu, he's kind of useless. That whole verse is so dependent on the world building of Naruto that if we were ever going to do something, it would have to be another character enters their world. Because if you put Naruto or anything, you have to put the whole world into it, or it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Godzilla OOX says, what would have happened to Goku in the DBDC equivalent of Flashpoint? This is one of the things where we've actually thought about it, but we don't really necessarily have a good place to put it in, particularly because Barry Allen is dead and he's going to stay that way. But in like the equivalent of Flashpoint, where it's just like the really fucked up Earth where everything's just wrong, Goku never stops being Kakarot. And so he's very similar to the Superman that gets like just captured by the government. He is just a Saiyan imprisoned on Earth that's constantly being like experimented on and stuff. And he's really built up a bit of a grudge because of it.
Or you go the other darker way. He turns into an Ozaru, kills the Kents, rampages around for a little bit, and then like the Justice Society has to take him out, and he dies when he's like a baby.
Maybe, I don't know. I kind of like more just the Kakarot cat with a grudge kind of thing. I don't know. I think he'd make a really good villain. Is kind of what I'm getting at. I like the idea of Thomas Wayne Batman just like helps fund the resources to keep Kakarot Kent locked up on the Flashpoint Earth because he realizes how dangerous he is.
Mm-hmm.
DC Goku versus Marvel Goku.
At the current moment, our Goku is far stronger, simply because the Smug Sticks Goku isn't even as strong as he was at like the World Tournament yet. Whereas our Goku is already at like Android Saga level. But, you know, Goku is always going to get stronger, so just keep your eye out, because me and Smugstick have been talking about the future of that series, and he's very excited to do more with it, and so keep an eye on that space, because he will be doing it. But for the moment, where they are, again, you're comparing characters where I have, like, I don't know, I've almost 2 sagas finished, and he's only done 1 video yet, so maybe wait until the episodes match up a little bit better before you start comparing them.
Do you have any thoughts on Valiant Comics? I've not read a one.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the company who's doing Second Coming with the Jesus meets Superman thing? Because I read that and I thought that was great.
Yeah, I have no idea. I got nothing for you. Sorry. Arclight 10. If Goku DC gets SS4, then him versus Super Goku would be cool. I mean, yeah. What like our kind of thought process on the Super Saiyan transformations is they're just a multiplier at the end of the day. like as cool as they are and as important as they are for character and stuff, they are ultimately just a multiplier. Oh shit! I'm realizing this is super chat. Sorry, we'll do that one next. They are just a multiplier, so like, I guess, like God is vague and blue as well about like how much it's increasing power. It's just like a lot. But if we already got Goku at a pretty high fucking power level, and if he were to get something like 4, it might end up being on par with God. That's not a bad point. So I guess you could probably give Super Saiyan Blue Goku a pretty good fight at this point.
It just depends again how strong each of their bases end up being.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to see more Broly? Yeah, he's gonna show back up in the series, just not for a while.
We don't introduce things without paying them off. Broly's a special character because he is so strong. He's the strongest character we've introduced so far, minus like Darkseid and stuff. Like, he is as strong as he is in Super at the moment, and that means compared to everyone else, he's like unstoppable. So it's very deliberately why we didn't have him fight. But we'll get to see Broly again one day.
Okay, my bad. I'm missing your super chat. Super Michael 98. Thank you for the $2.
Thank you.
Wouldn't Injustice just be the Goku Black arc?
See, that's the problem, though, right? Because Zamasu isn't evil Goku. He's just Zamasu wearing Goku.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Goku would be very different than Goku Black. Goku Black,
and very different than evil Superman.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's the closest thing you get. It isn't even. The series is actually, despite with us talking about like Talos and Goku Black, we've never actually gotten what an evil Goku would actually be. And if you've ever read Dragon Garo Lee's Vegeta Sai, he has the best take on it I think I've seen, where he's just a battle-hungry maniac who wants to give people a fair fight, but he's just absolutely ruthless and bloodthirsty. This will tie into something we've talked about on the other channel, Geeky Gentleman, but we did a review of a film called Sword of the Stranger, and the main villain in that is probably what the closest to evil Goku you could ever get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. So it's one of those things where, like, in Injustice, the dynamic just wouldn't be the same, and in all honesty, Batman probably wins. Like, not to be too much of a Batman fanboy, but just for the sake of story, Batman probably wins that pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, Goku isn't hard to counter when you break him down. It's why in the Saiyan saga, every single one of those fights would have been lost by the Saiyans if they didn't have the Darkseid tech. Because they may be physically stronger, but the DC universe has like hacks and tips and everything. Where like, if it wasn't for the Darkseid tech, Vegeta would have gone out of Uzaru much sooner and they would have taken him out quicker. If it wasn't for the Darkseid tech, Raditz would have been taken out by Martian Manhunter. And thankfully, Batman's one actually did work on Nappa because Nappa likes to strip a lot, so he doesn't actually have that much tech on him.
and Nappa was just like lower tier for Darkseid. Nappa being aged and stuff, Darkseid didn't care as much about him.
If Batman had tried that nanites trick on Vegeta or Raditz, the Apocalyptian tech would have probably detected it and removed it from their system.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah, I did. What do you mean I don't get redemption? This is bullshit.
Yes.
That was my favorite. No, actually, that's not my favorite. That was really good. What do you mean I don't get redemption? This is bullshit. What if Professor Xavier and Tony Stark's wealth and Manowar using Vikings using a sci-fi armor just annoys me as all. I don't know what you're getting at there. That was like a convoluted mess of a sentence. I apologize.
Keep them short, keep them snappy, folks.
Yeah. Weirdest and or funniest comment you've seen on your videos?
There's been a few.
Yeah.
And we love and appreciate all of them, but there are some ones that make us scratch our heads a little bit.
Yeah, funniest? I don't know. There's been some really great TFS quotes that have been adjusted for the
for Dragon Ball DC, which are really funny. Like, my favorite, the funniest one is probably Darkseid saying, Nappa, you will be a slave, and a gladiator in my arena. Nothing more than a pet. Yay, like a doggy. That one was pretty good. The Giver of L got another $2 donation here. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. This is a bit risque, but I do know the character, so I'm gonna just read it outright. Next time, maybe a little more craft in the language, please. Will Maxima try to rape Goku like she did to Superman?
Oh no.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, that is the character, right? Like, she's just got that hard-on for Superman kind of thing, and tries to kind of go after him. I'm thinking of the right character, right? The lady that just, like, decides, oh, no, Superman is my mate, you know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of, yeah. You know, the funny thing about that is she would actually have a better chance with Goku than she did with Superman.
Uh-huh. Goku, it's in almost like, again, it's such a dicey topic, but Goku's very childlike. It's not that hard to trick him into things.
Like, I don't think you need to get to even that point. I think, like, you know, when she just decides, oh, you're a good male specimen and you're powerful and strong, and so you've like earned my respect and stuff. Like, that's the thing, is she didn't just straight go after Superman like that. That was after Superman was, like, trying to be all farm boy, polite, and refuse her. I feel like Goku is you know, kind of, like, simple enough that he'd probably just go along with it at a certain point. So I think she got... she comes to Earth and gets that booty call every so often, and...
And then Lady Shiva kills her.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. As far as weirdest comment, there was one just the other day that we were kind of scratching our heads on, which is like, oh, Broly showed up too early. This is more of a fan fiction than a what if, and we were like, dude, every single what if is a fan fiction. I'm sorry. That one was pretty funny. It'll be funny if Lady... Oh, look at you. Already started on the drawing again. I knew you couldn't leave it untouched.
Hey, that was the last little bit. It's just annoying me when I was looking at the full piece.
Alright. It'll be funny if Lady Shiva gets into an argument with Vegeta and Goku got to break them up. Maybe. I think Shiva would just, like, criticize Vegeta's fighting style or something. That'd probably piss him off.
Uh-huh. She's not one to mince words, and she's not one to back down.
Yeah. One of Phoenix Wright has to defend Mr. Satan. That's funny. I don't know what you do with that, but that's a funny idea.
Uh-huh.
Arclight 10 says Goku has telekinesis, I believe. Yeah, but he doesn't use it, so it's just... I kind of wish they didn't give it to him, because it'd be nice for him to have a like, pretty definitive weakness like that. I'd say he has never faced off against, like, a true telepath on the level that we have in comics. So that's probably more of an open, you know, weakness than he might otherwise think.
Uh-huh.
You know?
You don't want to apply, like, a no-limits fallacy to it, right? Just because a lightsaber can cut through everything in Star Wars doesn't mean it can cut through everything. Just because Goku and Vegeta can resist telepaths in DBZ doesn't mean they can resist every single telepath.
Yeah, like, if you put Goku in a room with Charles Xavier, I'm sorry, Charles Xavier's ripping through that dude's freaking mind. In a second if he wants to. Looks like maybe another super chat here. Yes, okay. Another Comic Platypus, you are up here, man. You doing big. Good, go you. Okay, here you go, Alfie. This one you're gonna have to unpack. Is Yamoshi in this verse? Did they meet Highfather?
Yamoshi is in this verse's history. Planet Sadala is not. Unpack that how you will, but again, this is hard for me to talk about. Okay, I don't mind saying this just because this is the conceit, right? So everyone knows that Krypton and Planet Vegeta traded places, correct?
Mm-hmm.
when we haven't told you at what point in their respective timelines they traded places.
Okay, I think that's enough spoiler.
Yeah,
territory
but
there.
100% keep your eye out in the new year. We've been talking about stuff.
Okay. Godzilla OOX says, if Darkseid and Thanos got into a 1v1 Mario Kart match with the fate of their empires on the line, who's taking home the gold? Darkseid.
Yeah, Darkseid's got the couch experience. I imagine he actually likes to play a lot of Mario Kart regularly with Highfather. Thanos doesn't really strike me as much of a gamer. He's got the incel thing down, but he's not really. So maybe actually, yeah. You know what? No, I changed my stance. Darkseid's like a casual couch co-op kind of chill dude, but like Thanos is like a hardcore like just wants to get Lady Death's bathwater paid for and stuff like that. So he's 100% got that gamer energy. So Thanos takes this.
Oh my god, that's okay. Super Saiyan Gold.
I mean,
So
that's
cool.
just Super Saiyan, right?
I don't know. I love like the different ways they'll color Super Saiyan hair. I love when Super Saiyan hair is colored like so just bright and glowy. Like there's one of Trunks' early transformations in those first couple episodes. It's just like this beautiful glowing golden hair. I love it. But it'd be kind of neat to see like a Super Saiyan gold hair that like is just like metallic looking reflective gold. I'd like to see some color. Colorizations like that.
I've seen a really cool concept someone had before they released what Super Saiyan Gold actually looked like, and it was just like the Super Saiyan hair was part of the aura, and like the whole body was like aura and like on fire, and it was like this glowing. Like, have you ever seen, for the chat, if you ever seen like how Naruto looks like when he's got his Nine Tails cloak, or like, you know how Superman 1 Million, where he's just golden energy. It looked like that, and I think that would be a cool idea for like a Super Saiyan form.
Comic Platypus $2 nitpick. You can nitpick us all you want if you're gonna donate.
Yeah, if you're gonna pay me, look, you give me a $50 hot take.
Nitpick: lightsabers can't cut through everything in Star Wars. That is true.
That is true. It's just an example
of
the
lightsaber-proof materials.
It's just the top of my head.
Yep. But hey, $2, you can correct them all you want.
Exactly, man.
I'll say something else wrong.
Gee Willikers.
Tom King's a bad writer.
Oh my god, I can't believe Batman hits his kids.
Isn't Injustice what happens when Superman snaps? Yeah, so again, it's just the story doesn't really fit Goku super well. The Injustice comics are a fascinating beast, to say the least. Yeah, I feel bad for Tom Taylor. He kind of takes a shitty concept, really does his best to just flex his superhero lore knowledge, make it work, and then they come around with the second game and ignore everything.
I know, right? It's just like, you're dealing with people who make Mortal Kombat. They're not exactly dealing with the highest level of intricate storytelling.
But you'd think they're like, oh, well, the Injustice comics have been really successful, so let's base the second game off of those and kind of go forward, or bring Tom Taylor on to help write the second. No.
Yeah, I'm glad he got deceased anyway. That seems to have been doing really well for him, so I'm glad he's moved away from that kind of toxic relationship he was in.
Yeah. Godzilla OOX says, Goku, this Jesus guy sounds strong. I'd love to fight him someday.
Yeah, I mean, right? That's gotta be a what if one day. Who's gonna break that? What if Jesus was in the Old Testament? What if Goku was in the Old Testament?
Fucking fires a Kamehameha to help the Jews cross.
What if Goku and Moses swap places? There's your what if. There's your Christmas time what if, everyone.
Yeah. Superman can literally do everyone's thing. Yes, that's what makes him cool. I don't know what is going on with that comment. Will Goku contract the heart virus in Dragon Ball DC? That's like such a very specific thing, and honestly, part of the reason I don't actually like the Cell Saga very much is it's just another way for Toriyama to take Goku off the board so he can come in and save the day.
I'm pretty much in agreement there.
Yeah. Why can't he just blow up the planet? I mean, he could. Wouldn't have a place to live.
I can't breathe in space.
Zone Blade. So no Guy Gardner or one of the best lanterns, John Stewart yet? No, those two are both still around. They're just off on Oa.
A lot of other stuff in the universe without Superman to deal with, so a lot of them have to pick up slack. Like, Superman doesn't just deal with the Earth-based stuff. And Wonder Woman doesn't get to go into space a lot, so the other Earth-based Green Lanterns have been picking up a lot of that slack as well. Because again, Goku's kind of been not as active as, like, say, a Superman would be.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, he can't fly in space like Superman can. So.
Exactly right.
I like Superman, I really do. That said, I've just come in thanks to the Bruce Timm cartoons. I know that I do thanks to reviews or Comic Story and Comic Explains. I meant Doom Patrol. I have no idea what that comment is. Again, I'm sorry. Some of these are kind of hard, especially after the context is lost. I did have an idea where Turles was the Ultraman of Red 3, but I scrapped that idea. Again, it's just one of those things where, like, Turles isn't much of a character. I don't think there's just a ton of fan base behind him. It's just like once you say Saiyans in DC, he's kind of just there. Turles is kicking around somewhere.
Yeah, in my mind, I will like kind of stamp on this. In my mind, he is the Ultraman equivalent, but we won't really be doing much with that. It's more like a lore point than like anything substantial. It's just, again, he's got about as much character as Ultraman, right? It's just evil.
Right. Fucking, we introduce Gohan and he fucking Turles locks Gohan in a volcano for 5 years for absolutely no reason. There we go. There's all the interesting things.
You are so salty, man.
I'm a little bit. I'm unsalted nuts right now.
All right,
how we the Earth 2 projector?
It would be Lex, right, and Joker and stuff still.
Yep.
At least on the Ultraman one. On the Justice Society one, it probably would be. I don't know. Depends what you. Do you think we should mention that now or save it?
Let's save that one.
All right, yeah. We've thought about what it would be.
Man, there are a lot of these still to go. Wow, like a lot.
Let's do like the next 5.
Okay, why don't I go down to the very bottom and work my way up just a little bit? All right?
Yeah.
There's kind of a conversation going around that doesn't really match up. I don't know. It's kind of hard to really figure out where to come in on any of these.
Yeah, I get
it would be cool if DC Goku got to the point where he fought Super Goku, but he was in just Super Saiyan and fighting on par with Super Saiyan Blue because his base is so strong. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Kind of like Hyugen Dojo, who did the GT versus Super thing, like similar to that. Yeah, I could see that.
Eddie Pipes Maynard says, "How old is Kakarot in Dragon Ball DC?"
He is 26. He became a superhero in Metropolis when he was 19, and it's been 7 years.
Cool. I'm trying to just find people that like I don't think I've read a bunch of their comments, so they feel involved too. Man, there's a lot of just conversation happening.
This is why maybe next time we'll set up like a mod or something.
Yeah, maybe. Tomatoes are just worse cucumbers. Vegeta, a low-class Saiyan shouldn't be this strong. Okay, boomer, says Goku.
I mean, Maybe that maybe that should be saved for like Or Yang. You must not go this form, you must not do this, you must serve me. Okay, boomer.
Eric Green says, will Vegeta have a kid? Having a wife and children is a major reason why he changed. It sounds as though he's going to be childless. Makes me wonder about his development. Let me say this to that. You're talking to the Vegeta fanboy of this group, and one of Alfie's original trash plans was, oh yeah, Vegeta's just going to be like, he's not going to have a turn, and he's just going to be like Goku's Joker. And I was like, you fuck off with that. You do not touch my boy.
Wow, I can't believe I'm getting exposed.
Yeah, exposed. No, so like we're just trust me. We wanted to adapt the characters, the same characters from Dragon Ball N, and try to get them at least in some way, shape, or form to a similar place to where they are in the main series as far as like the person they are, kind of just fitting that within the mold of DC, because what we find interesting is the ability to have the interactions between those characters. So we're working on Vegeta, but yes, he's childless, and yeah, so we're working on it. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, trust Sid Part 2, trust Ian. He is the biggest Vegeta boy we'll ever meet. So, all you Vegeta fans who are like, oh, Vegeta won't get his due in this What If, he 100% will. Especially, you'll probably get a clearer idea of what we're going to do with him next episode. Because he is kind of where we left him. I can understand why everyone's a bit worried about what we're going to do with him. But 100%, Vegeta is not being forgotten about or ignored. We've got big plans.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's one of the things that's really exciting to be able to do is, like, I love Dragon Ball, I love Vegeta, but one of the things that makes it hard to watch that series sometimes is because Goku and Gohan are pretty much the main characters. One of the comparisons I've used is it's like reading a Justice League book where Superman solves every problem, and that just really does undercut the point of it. Dragon Ball Z, in particular, kind of became an ensemble cast thing, but it got really annoying because it became the Let's Wait for Goku show. And so we are being very careful to not have Goku just completely show off the rest of the DC universe, and have other characters develop alongside him and still get, really important moments, which I hope is very evident in the Entity Saga. But that's also going to extend to the other characters. Goku's story is still the main focus of Dragon Ball DC, but Vegeta really, like, the first video is all about Goku, the second video is all about Vegeta. Dragon Ball DC is their story, by and large.
Could have said it better myself.
Yeah. Trenton Brown says, people like Saiyans X Wonder Woman, the same reason DC has a hard-on for Superman X Wonder Woman. Mountain shattering sex, I mean, someone give me the budget for the Dragon Ball DC smut, and then I'll finally write that Wonder Woman X Vegeta stuff.
John, everyone at Fun Sexy Dragon Ball, don't act like her like that. She's won before, but she wants to do some fan art, then we'll get some smut going for these characters.
It's just smut. It's just fucking.
Right? I mean, what genius said those beautiful words? I'd marry him.
Yeah. All right. This looks like it'll be the last one. Another super chat from Cash Smith. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
What would a Bizarro version of Goku be like?
Okay, so he'd be a brilliant scientist. He'd be a brilliant scientist who is like super like Lex Luthor level genius, but not very creative. All he does really is follow like blueprints, but he's like really good at that. He's just not very good at coming up with new ideas, and he's also like super sickly. Like he has to take like 50 medication a day. And other than that, it's just that's the bizarre equivalent of Goku. Is he's a scientist who cannot leave his laboratory because he will break every bone in his body.
See, I was gonna say, Trillis has gray skin, right?
Oh my god! Well, I mean, Turles is a farmer. Oh, the tree guy.
The guy with the tree? He's still alive? Well, not anymore. That's funny. Okay. I think that'll do it, don't you?
Yes, I think that's been a very super productive. I'm super happy with how this turned out. This was a ton of fun. And everyone who came in and joined in and watched us complete this piece and then just talk about the series, I'm really thrilled, and I definitely have been inspired to want to do more of these now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and seriously, thanks to everyone that donated. That's really awesome. We talked about this a little bit here and there. Most of the stuff that's like made off the channel is just going back into the channel.
Yes, that's how we get like commissions and art and paying the actors and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're really working on that, and Patreon at 10K, so we can really have that as like a proper budgeted thing, and really just increase the overall quality of the series. So it's exciting, and so thanks so much everyone for helping out. Good time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, keep your eye on this space because we will be putting the next Norse DB video this month, and that's going to be a what if, and then after that you're going to get your Dragon Ball DC Entity Saga finale, 2 parts, like part 3 and part 4 will be coming in December as like everyone's Christmas present, and then that will be we haven't had a full year, but technically I like to think of this as like the first chapter of the Geeks for Fun channel kind of closing as we go into an even bigger, better next year. So we'll hopefully get a couple more streams in that time period. Let us know what you want. Let us know what you want to do and like how we can more interact and cater to what you guys want to see. So please keep giving your suggestions. But overall, share the videos around, check out the merch, and when we get that Patreon up, we'll be sure to make a video on it. Other than that, just your comments is just more incredible support than we could have imagined. So thank you all so much.